crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
It's time for the Jackson's Postgame Show on Bronco Nation News. We're breaking down the game with highlights, interviews, analysis, and most importantly, you. Give your thoughts on the game in the ICCU YouTube chat or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN Postgame Show is presented by Jackson's, where you can get a 99-cent 16-ounce coffee or refill with Let's Go Rewards. Need snacks or a cold drink? Visit one of the 300 Jackson's locations today. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. For all your painting needs, check out RowPaint.com. BJ Rains will be along shortly from the press box with post-game interviews and analysis. But for now, let's go out to Uncle Bob's Pizza in Meridian and join Nathan Carroll and Chris Van Sickle for the Jackson's Post-Game Show on Bronco Nation News.
All right, welcome on in, Bronco Nation. Coming in here in the Jackson's Post-Game Show here from Uncle Bob's Pizza. The crowd has filed out. They have headed home victorious as Boise State takes down Air Force 49-37. Lots to get into, lots to talk about. Thank you all for coming on in. Like I said, the Jackson's Postgame Show. We'll be going through your comments here, so make sure to get your comments into the ICCU YouTube chat. We'll be responding to those comments, talking about the game. A lot of good. A little bit of bad, but look, at the end of the day, anytime you can beat Air Force, a win's a win. And I mean, DJ, you know that better than anyone, right?
Yeah, you're always just happy to be leaving that place with a win, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Boise State does just that. Like I said, won 49-37. And as you see in the title there, the breakout star for today, Dylan Riley. Look, we're not going to belabor. We're not going to leave you on a cliffhanger. Today's Blue and Orange Store player of the game is Dylan Riley. 5 touchdowns, 255 total yards, including 171 on the ground, 84 receiving. This is a guy that 2 games ago was the running back 3, give him some touches here and there intermittently, and now comes out and has an all-time game for Boise State. Chris, obviously a lot to love about Dylan Riley's performance today, but what do you make of Dylan Riley coming out 5 touchdowns and really setting the tone for this Bronco team?
It's just amazing to see. Like we mentioned on the halftime show, he has the speed, but what he shows, catching the ball out of the backfield, 2 receptions for 84 yards and a touchdown there, and in between the tackles, outside the tackles, he was hitting everything. So just an amazing game, and you just feel really happy for that young man.
Yeah, we'll give you a behind the scenes here. You have to start prepping all the YouTube stream and stuff beforehand. So with about 3 minutes left, make the tagline, Dylan Riley scores 4 touchdowns. And then he breaks off another one, and we have to go in and edit everything, make it say 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdown day for Dylan Riley. And he was the hammer carrier for this game. Has had quite the emotional journey this offseason. As many of you guys know, his father passed away this summer, and Spencer Danielson has talked a lot about how, he just continued to persevere and work through that, and really culminating in an excellent game. DJ, looking forward, we talked at halftime, like, yeah, Dylan Riley, you're giving him the hot hand. Wouldn't be surprised if next week it's, Malik Sherrod or Sire Gaines getting 20 carries. But with how he responded even further in the second half, is Dylan Riley the guy for Boise State in the running back room going forward?
I mean, it's sure be hard to go away from him at this point, especially after the performance that he put up today. I mean, and you just love to see a guy like that who was not getting a ton of touches early in the season. He gets an opportunity in a big-time game to put on display what I'm sure everyone in that locker room already knew what he was capable of. But he got to show Bronco Nation, and I'm super fired up for him and the performance that he put on today.
Yeah, the elevation didn't seem to affect him too much. I think he was just fine.
I think he could have gone for another 50 yards at least at the end there, had they not taken knees there. And look, I will caution Boise State fans. I don't think this Air Force defense is very good. Yeah. It's part of why my gambling pick was the one that it was. It's part of why I was fairly confident Boise State would be able to win. But they did what good offenses do against not so great defenses. They ran it up on them and ran some more to the point that Maddox Madsen attempted 2 passes in the second half. Nate Potter said, hey, this run game thing is working pretty well. Let's just get feeding the run game. I don't know, DJ, did you ever play a team that was able to dominate the run like that? Like, what does that do to a defense when all Boise State is doing, literally all they're doing, is just grounding, pounding, and continuing to pick up yards, continue to score points?
I mean, it's just demoralizing for the defense. And on a lot of these runs, our backs aren't getting touched until they're 7-8 yards already past the line of scrimmage. So, I mean, when an offense can just run the ball at will like that and you have absolutely no answer on defense, it's going to be a long day for you.
Yeah, Chad Bowcut here saying Dylan ain't 21, but I'm buying him a beer. I think everybody in Boise State here is proverbially buying the young man. Yeah, buy him a Gatorade. Preston here as well saying, good to see Sherrod burst a couple times. Chris, what did you make of Malik Sherrod's performance today?
Yeah, and that's what we report. That's what we reported. We saw that in fall and spring camp, and I'm excited that he was able to finally show that. I felt like there was already some haters growing about Malik, and that just wasn't, maybe not fair. Unbelievable talent. The lateral speed is insane. Not going to be your pounded up the middle guy, but can make all the plays. So I was really happy to see Malik get that opportunity. And then even Sire had a couple nice runs there in the fourth quarter. So, that's just that 3-headed monster that we were all dreaming of.
Yeah, Malik Sherrod comes in, 7 carries, 80 yards, gets a touchdown as well, and Sire Gaines. Just 3 carries, 34 yards. I mean, we'll stick in the running back room. And I guess I'll go over to you, Chris, and then you, DJ. Is there any worry about Sire Gaines, or is just a hot hand case? Or, I mean, obviously he's a very talented back, but for a guy that, 2 weeks ago we felt like, NFL future, he should be the RB1. All of a sudden now he looks third in the pecking order. Any concern about him, or how are you guys feeling about Sire Gaines and his role in the offense at this point?
I mean, with this new supposed availability report, I guess you can't speculate on injuries. So, no, I'm not worried about Sire Gaines. Like I said in the halftime show, it wouldn't surprise me if he's going for 200 next week.
Yeah, I completely agree. And just another thing on the backs today, we got to give credit to the big boys up front today. I mean, like I said, those guys, they dominated the line of scrimmage. Like I just said, our backs weren't getting touched, so they're already 7-8 yards downfield past the line of scrimmage. So always got to give a shout out to the big boys up front.
Yeah, the offensive line looked absolutely dominant today. Cage Casey is having that charity initiative where every pancake block, he's, I think, donating $300. He's going to have some donations to make, especially on the screenplay that Dylan Riley broke free.
Yep.
You see Cage Casey running out there. Looking athletic, by the way. He's moving and just absolutely bulldozes a safety or a corner and ultimately breaks Dylan Riley. Yeah, the offensive line, I thought was exceptional. And look, typically when we talk offense, we always love to talk quarterbacks. We love to talk the passing game. Alex Mattison threw the ball 2 times, went 2 for 2 in the second half. But any other thoughts, comments on the offense? Obviously, you put up 49 points. You feel pretty good about yourself. I believe every single time they touched the ball in the second half, they scored a touchdown until they needed out at the end there. But any other thoughts, comments on the offense and how you feel about that unit going forwards?
You mentioned the offensive line and Cage Casey, and this Cage Casey's got to be a first-round pick, all right, guys? He's having an unbelievable season so far if he stays healthy. I wanted to point out, I played offensive line not very well for a long time, and Jason Steele, left guard, not a guy that I necessarily had penciled in at starting at left guard, had a great game. Saw him pulling a couple times, and I was just really happy to see him get that opportunity and excel at that.
Yeah, I just love the physicality our offense played with in the second half. Like I said, they ran the ball at will, and you can't do that without being physical at the line of attack. So I was really excited to see that.
And Chris Washburn says here 49 points, but it probably should have been 70 if not for the turnover and the penalties in the first half. In the second half, obviously, don't turn the ball over. Just 1 penalty in the second half. I think it was you who said it, DJ, that if they clean up the offense, if they can clean up the penalties, continue to see him move the ball, and they did just that. The 1 penalty was a holding penalty that little suspect,
questionable,
a little questionable.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to be biased at all, as an alumni, but I was looking at that just as a football analyst, and I was like, there's really not any holding going on there. I felt like the refs just had to throw themselves back into the game. But yeah, offense absolutely dominant. 49 points. They win 49-37. Boise State does. Defensive side of the ball. A little bit more questions. Air Force comes out and scores a touchdown or kicks a field goal on all of their drives until that interception there at the back end. They did get that backdoor turnover that you wanted to see, DJ. You were asking for it, but tough night out for the defense, all things considered. DJ haven't played linebacker. What did you see? Where did things fall short? Was it just reacting too slow to play action and not getting back? Where did things fall apart for this defense tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna choose to be optimistic about what we saw today, especially with the amount of points that we did end up giving up. You gear up to play Air Force. You're expecting heavy triple option. They're throwing a ton of different schemes at you in the run game, so you're gearing up from that. And that, like I said in the pregame show, that takes all 11 to stop that. So I think Air Force threw the ball a lot more than maybe we were expecting today. I think that could have caught our guys a little off guard. So at the end of the day, I, as a fan and as a former player, I don't know if I would look too much into the struggles that we had today, stopping the passing game, just because of all that goes into stopping Air Force's run game as well.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Obviously there was some coverage breakdown, some wide open guys, which you don't want to see. But Air Force's backup quarterback, Liam Zarka, it's Josh Johnson who's been starting for them. Liam Zarka is looking like a power 4 quarterback. 13 for 18, 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, has the interception at the end, also chips in 111 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. I was very impressed with Air Force's quarterback, which is not something you typically say. A lot of times when we talk about these option offenses, it's once you can find a quarterback, everything goes from there. Last year, they didn't have a quarterback. Liam Zarka, and look, maybe some of it's Boise State's defense, but I thought Liam Zarka was very, very impressive. I think he's going to be a really good quarterback going forwards. But Chris, what are you seeing over there on the defense? is there any particular players that sort of stood out, I guess, amongst the mess? We can start with the positive and then get into some more of the negative.
Yeah, there's something that stood out, not always for the best there. No, we'll start with the positives. I think that's always the best way to do it. Ty Benefield, great game. Yeah, and yes, I read the threads. I know he wasn't perfect in coverage. I get it, but hit like a brick, like a train tonight, and just really showed up in the run game. I thought everyone can see the passing game and the problems and the struggles that are there. But let's give Ty Benefield some love and see that he stepped it up in the rushing game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 times that I made a joke that he looked like he killed a guy 3 times because he was hitting so hard tonight. I mean, they gave him that number 0 because he looked like a guy you played with, JL Skinner.
Yeah.
I don't know. He looked a little bit like JL Skinner to me, the way he was hitting tonight.
Yeah, he was flying around, and yeah, he makes some noise when he hits guys. So that's always fun to watch. And I thought he played super physical, which is great. Like Chris said, I mean, he was great in the run game. Just got to clean up some stuff in the pass game. I just think, like I said, there's a lot that goes into stopping Air Force's run attack. I think going into next week, I just think our defense maybe needs to focus a little bit on the eye discipline in the secondary to clean that stuff up.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been games where Air Force doesn't throw the ball. Yeah. So to come out, throw the ball 20 times, obviously they're in a negative game script. They're going to throw it a little bit more, but it catches you a little bit off guard. And now I know you said in pregame a lot of times you'll run base quarters against Air Force. I mean, is that something where the safeties in particular, are they dialing in on the run a little too much, and it's part of the issues? The scheme is making it a little bit easier to get over. But yeah, I guess just talk about that. I mean, is it a scheme thing? Is it the players thing? Combination of both?
Yeah, so running that cover 4 shell, it definitely allows us to get that extra run fitter to mostly account for the quarterback in the option. So that's one thing. Those guys are a lot more in on the run, but that's where one thing, playing the sprinkling in some post defense to get a safety deep in the post can help eliminate, especially some of those big plays that we saw in the second half.
I wanted to ask DJ, we see the long passes and we see who's chasing them, and we just automatically blame that player. When you play Air Force and you're playing this coverage, how often are these corners truly just locked up one-on-one, or is there supposed to be help coverage there?
Against Air Force, there's a good amount of one-on-one just because, like I said, we got to have 9 guys in the box to fit the run. So those guys get put out there. It's not always favorable, but another thing that helps out coverage is always a pass rush too. So, yep. I mean, we look at the coverage and we can call out names all we want, but we also got guys up front that need to get home to help out the coverage, and it all works together at the end of the day.
Yeah, Boise State with just 1 sack tonight. That by Idaho transfer Malachi Williams picked up the sack in this one. And I'll be honest, I don't remember that play. And sometimes when you're playing Air Force, things go down to the box score as a sack that may not have always been a traditional pass. They're scrambling, run out of bounds at the 1, something like that. But just 1 sack tonight. How tough is it on a defensive line? Because typically the way that you sort of, prepare yourself for a play is very different when you're on a mix down versus a pass down, right? If you're a pass down, it's pin your ears back, let's go get the quarterback. But when you're playing a run-heavy offense, it's a lot of times I got to keep my fits, right? If I've got B gap, I got to keep B gap. As part of the issues with the pass rush tonight, not really getting home, is that some of that just expecting runs so often, or is there more to that, do you think?
Yeah. Gap integrity is going to come first when you're playing Air Force. Everyone knows when you're playing Air Force on defense, you have to stop the run. Because I said in pregame, they will bleed you to death with the dive if they can. They will hand that dive off 60 times in a row if you'll let them. Mm-hmm. So you got to be stout in the run and fit your run scheme first, and then transition to the pass rush. And I just think we kind of struggled with that a little bit tonight.
Yeah, and all things considered, Air Force 55 carries, 269 yards, so 4.9 yards per carry. Obviously, quite a few of those. They had a 64-yard run, had a 38-yard run, which helped the averages there. But I think if there's cause for concern, it's certainly fair to be concerned about the defense right now, because it wasn't like the run defense was exceptional, especially on some money downs. There were a lot of 3rd and 4, 3rd and 9, where Air Force ends up converting. Then obviously the pass defense does what it does. Tell me a little bit, about having been in these locker rooms. Is it as simple as a personnel change? There's a guy in the room that's ready to go. Is it more schematic? Hey, maybe there's things we have to do. Because at the end of the day, too, this is a secondary that all of these guys started last year. It's not a bunch of new guys in there. So how does that conversation look like? Is there a chance that you're going to see a personnel change? And, I'm not going to ask you to start calling for players to get benched. These guys personally, I wouldn't expect you to do that. But, do those conversations start to happen? And what does this week after another rough game for the secondary start to look like?
Honestly, I'd be shocked if we would see any personnel changes. Playing Air Force is a completely different beast than playing your traditional opponent. It's so much different from a preparation standpoint and just the game itself and what goes into it. Mm-hmm. So now that I feel like they're past this point, I think they'll really be able to settle in from a secondary standpoint and just play the schemes that they've been practicing since January.
Yeah, because it is tough. You're pretty much putting an entirely new game plan, entirely new scheme just to play Air Force, right? We saw all three linebackers, Notriani, Jake Ripp, and Bowen Phelps play pretty much the entire game. I don't think we saw any Jaden Mickey. Don't think we saw any Devon Banks that I can recall. Now I'll kick it over to you, Chris, because you're not a former player. You haven't at all these practices. I mean, we're continuing now to see some issues in the secondary. Is there anybody in practices who hasn't been getting a lot of playing times that you'd like to see get some more run in there, just see what they can do out there?
Yeah, I'll toss out two names. The first is the guy that I've watched them recruit him, and I'm excited to see what he can do when he finally gets his chances. Franklin Johnson at corner. A long, lanky kid, has all the speed you could ask for. Not really sure where he needs to grow in order to get that playing time. Maybe it's in the scheme, maybe it's something behind the scenes, obviously. But Franklin Johnson is a guy that I think could come in and help this defense in coverage. And maybe the Air Force game isn't the right game to do that, make that change.
Right.
So maybe that's something happens. And another name is a junior college young man that I thought had a good fall camp, Sherrod Smith, another corner. Plays really tight man-to-man coverage. That's what I always liked watching his film coming out of junior college, and it's something that this team desperately needs. So I would throw out those two names there.
Yeah, and Franklin Johnson, that's a guy that we've seen rotate in, right? Yeah. They play a lot of three cornerbacks with either McCoy or Irby rotating out for that third guy, and he's been the third guy. And granted, a lot of it was against Eastern Washington, which isn't the best passing offense, but I thought he's looked good in those minutes as well. So it's something I'm very curious to see what they do against App State next week, right? Is the game plan, we're going to stick to our guns, we're going to stick with our guys, or do we start to pivot and just see some other guys? And look, sometimes you can see the positives of it, right? Jaden Mickey comes in, gets the start against Eastern Washington, has an exceptional game. Obviously, there's other times you can throw in a guy, he doesn't have a great game, and then it's one of those times where the coaches do best, right? They're there at all those practices. They see these guys' work habits and whatnot. So Bronco Nation, continue to get in here to the Jackson's Postgame Show. Leave your comments down in the ICCU YouTube chat. We'll be talking all about the thoughts and insights that you have. Chad Bocut saying Franklin is a stud. Really impressed again with the minutes he had against Eastern Washington. Chris Washburn, who's been in here. Chris, we appreciate all your comments here, saying he's been sticky whenever he's gotten in there. So we'll see. We'll see if Franklin Johnson gets some more reps and gets some more runs going into next week against App State. One area I did want to highlight quickly. A lot of talk about the special teams. Special teams hasn't been great. Obviously, I don't think really any major plays either way. No big returns for either team. But Colton Boomer, 7 for 7 on extra points. And I should check. I believe he kicked all the extra points. I don't think I saw Cannon Moore sneak in there. And 8 for 8 on touchbacks. That's something that Boise State struggled immensely with last year. He was able to get the ball into the end zone every time he lined up. So, I thought the special teams, all things considered, I put it in the preview, just don't lose the game, right? Too often the special teams has been making critical errors that put you in a position to lose. Certainly didn't lose the game, and in some ways I thought was fairly additive tonight. Any other thoughts on special teams? It was a fairly boring night from special teams, which I think is what you want, right?
That's what Stacey Collins really wanted, yeah. No, I've never seen, and myself included, a fan base so excited for touchbacks. Like, just kick it all the way out there. Boomer, he's going to want to kick at elevation every game now. But the extra points. There was one where, maybe it was a little iffy there. they look strong, and I hope this is a game that he can just build that confidence. Boomer's a young man who he showed all the talent that he has as a freshman at UCF, and then had some injury history. We won't go into that, but he's got the leg, and he showed it in fall camp, and I'm looking forward to him getting an opportunity to show it in the game. DJ, do you have any thoughts on special teams?
Yeah, not a ton. I thought the kicking game was good. Malik had one solid return, one solid punt return today. I thought that was good, but other than that, not a ton from the special teams, which at the end of the day can always be a good thing.
And the punter had a pretty decent punt. I couldn't give you the yardage on it off the top of my head, but I want to say it was over 45, maybe 50 yards, and pinned him within the 10 to 15 yard range. So that you love to see that as well.
And Chris Washburn again. Chris, keep bringing the comments, man. You're bringing some good stuff here tonight. Recovered the onside. Something that you take for granted, but that's ultimately what ends up winning you the game, right? Is you're able to get the onside, able to kneel out at the end of the game. So yeah, all in all, a boring night for special teams, and I think in many ways that's a good thing, right? Like it's baby steps. We'll get back to the days of Avery Williams returning a kickoff seemingly every single game, or Tay Canijo blocking a field goal or a punt every game. But for now, special teams felt like they did their job, felt like it was a boring night in the best possible way. So, a lot of credit there to Colton Boomer. I wanted to make note of that. Also, if you're in the ICC YouTube chat here, we're going to be listening to voicemails later on in the show. So be sure to go to speakpipe.com/BNN, I believe, and speakpipe.com/BNN. Check out, leave your voicemails, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. We'll answer those later on. If you're here in the chat, in the ICC YouTube chat, leave your comments, leave your thoughts. That's speakpipe.com/BNN, brought to you by Signature Roofing. Great friends over at Signature Roofing. I know Joel, the owner. They're great people. Go support them if you get the opportunity. But keep these comments coming in. Got a lot of good comments here. Punter's been really good, solid all year. I agree. I think Oscar Doyle's been solid.
Oscar Doyle's been great. I mean, you lose to Caleb Ferguson Reynolds, and you're worried because you just bring another Aussie punter and hasn't missed a step. He's looked great.
We got P Silly TVs here saying working on that beard sponsor.
Oh yeah,
got some beard sponsors on the way for you too.
Hey, I bow down. The beard is amazing.
When I'm on Bronco Nation News and the beard gets brought up, I always got to shout out my people at the Beard Smith.
There you go.
Over on Overland, between Vista and Orchard. So
okay,
check them out. They'll get you looking right.
There you go. Free ad for DJ's wonderful beard there. I'll never join the beard game.
No.
I don't know why. The way God made me, they come in like mutton chops, so it all come in here and then straight across to the mustache. It's not a good look to me. I'll leave the beard to you two guys. Cody Kithcart here, interesting comment, said, I think the defense is fine. We've seen them play well already, but wasn't sure if the offense was able to be consistent, and obviously a pretty big performance today. Boise State in game one, we sat here talking about, we felt really good about the front seven, and we had some concerns with the offense. We're sitting here, 3 weeks later, offense looks great, defense not so much. DJ, having been in the locker rooms, how much of that is just game plan week to week, and it's, hey, sometimes the defense can have a great game plan and a great matchup? How much of that is, there's some real serious concerns here that are going to need to be fixed going forwards on both sides of the ball? Obviously, offense, a great game, defense, not so great. How much of it is matchups? How much of it is, team talent?
I think, our listeners are going to get sick of me saying this. I think for the most part, say it was the Air Force effect. Mm-hmm. One thing I do think that can be improved is the tackling. I thought in the second half that got a little sloppy at times where guys are bouncing off ball carriers. And I think we saw that a little bit in the second half of the USF game as well. So just having that four quarter consistency of being really strong tacklers and getting more than 2, 3, 4 guys the ball. We got to swarm. We got to get guys to the football.
And great question here from Grant. Grant, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name. I don't want to butcher it, but we'll start with Chris and then go to you, DJ, here. One area of improvement that you want to see heading into the App State game next week. Let's start with the defense, and then we'll go offense in a second. But one area of improvement on the defense that you want to see, starting with you, Chris.
I would go with the pass rush, actually. Everybody's going to point to the secondary. Number one thing that can save a bad secondary is a good pass rush. All right, DJ?
Yes.
I want to see Jaden Virgin Morgan, Max Steege. I really think Malachi Williams is actually playing pretty well. And then hopefully we see Bull get back. I know Roman Kaywood was playing a little bit today behind Jaden Virgin Morgan. So I would love to see that. And then Braxton Feely had a great pass rushing game against USF. One of the only few things that happened well at USF. Let's see him get back in the backfield and take a little pressure off that secondary.
And DJ, for you, is it the tackling? Is that the big thing you want?
Tackling, and I would also agree with the pass rush. I mean, Jaden he's getting a lot of double teams, so I'd love to see someone else on that D line take advantage of their one-on-one and be able to make something happen.
Yeah, and I think those are all great points. I'd love to see, Max Steege, Braxton Feely, who you alluded to earlier, get a little bit more work. I'll go to the obvious. I'll say the secondary. I'll say the coverage, right? And it's not just that they were losing. It's the way they were losing. Yeah. I think back to some games last year, like the San Jose State game, right? You give up a ton of passing yards, but it's a lot of 50-50 balls, a lot of comebackers where, Nick Nash is an excellent receiver and he's, routing up a corner. A lot of the losses tonight seemed like you said, bad eye discipline, right? Not sticking to your assignments. Those are things that, to me, you have to clean up, right? If you lose some 50-50 balls, if you got a really talented receiver, those losses are going to happen. The losses that can't happen are I was staring in the backfield and somebody got in behind me. Because we talked about it in pregame. Yes, Air Force wants to run the ball, but they want to be able to set up those big pass plays and get over the top. And they hit way too many tonight for my liking. So that's I'll go there. I'll go with the obvious answer. I think the secondary heading into App State. Now, we'll do more App State preview going into next week. I don't want to focus on that game too much. I'm not super high on this App team. Particularly, I don't think that they have a super explosive passing attack. So, it might not be the best test. But if you're playing a team that shouldn't have an explosive passing attack, let's see them not have one, right? Yeah. Which, again, I think there's a chance that Air Force could just have a good passing game with that quarterback in there. I apologize. I put his name off my screen here. But, again, I thought he looked really good. And maybe there's a chance we're looking back at this game in 8 weeks and going, yeah, it turns out Air Force scored 40 on everybody, and that quarterback, all of a sudden, they look like Texas Tech in the 2000s with Mike Leach, and they're throwing the ball 40 times a game. So, we'll see there. What about offensively? Obviously, 49 points. Every time they touch the ball, they score a touchdown in the second half. Hard to find areas of growth, but any areas that you'd like to see some growth in the offense into next week?
Sorry, I was kind of zoning off there. Going to next week, efficiency. I want to see some more efficiency, especially with Mattson and the wide receivers. I felt like he and Marshall missed on a couple last night or tonight, and I would like to see that connection be a little bit tighter. That back shoulder throw in the end zone that was just a little bit off. I watched them make that in fall camp 100 times. So that's there. That connection needs to be a little bit more efficient. DJ?
Yeah, it's hard to nitpick when you put up 49 points and you score every time you touch the ball in the second half. But, I love the way our guys play today. If I had to pick one thing, it would just be the pre-snap operation standpoint. Mostly what I'm talking about is the pre-snap penalties. Get those cleaned up, the false starts, which playing at home I think will help clean some of that stuff up. But
yeah, and that's actually exactly where I was going to go, right? 11 penalties in the first half. A lot of that just false starts, holding penalties, little things that you have to clean up. And against a better defense might be things that kill drives instead of, giving Dylan Riley an extra 10 yards to pad the stats with. But yeah, I think that's one area now where would like to see a little bit of growth in that. That's 2 out of 3 games now where we've seen penalties be a real problem for this team. Obviously, the USF game, they got hit pretty hard with penalties as well. So that's area where I'd really like to see growth as well. So keep getting your comments in here to the ICCU YouTube chat. We'll keep going. We'll keep talking about them. Boise State wins 49-37 over Air Force. Stick around as well. BJ will have interviews from Spencer Danielson, from available players, be able to get into some of their thoughts on the game and how they saw how things went. And look, like you said, at the end of the day, anytime you can beat Air Force, it's a good win. Something that I came across when I was doing my prep for this game, I believe this is Boise State's 26th consecutive conference opening win. Wow. The last time Boise State started 0-1 would have been, I believe, 1998, 1999. DJ, having been in the program, is there something to that? Is there something to the week of prep before that opening Mountain West game? There's just a different energy about it, different level of focus. Why is Boise State so good in these conference openers over the last 2 decades?
That just comes down to the team's goal, which is win the Mountain West championship game. That's what it starts with. So, and to do that, you got to win your conference. You got to win your conference in the regular season. So, and starting 1-0 in that aspect is huge. So, just something that these guys don't take for granted. You know, every single conference game means something, especially in this conference where if you drop a game, that could be it. Mm-hmm. You never know. So, I just think the coaches do a really good job putting a good emphasis on that, and the players, they respond well, and they're ready to go tonight. It's good to see.
And to follow up on that, is there any sort of different prep for a conference game? And especially where you've got Air Force early, now you've got another non-con game against App State coming up. You know, is it strange for you to kind of go into conference play and then back out of conference play? I mean, you guys ran into that a bunch with BYU when that game was being played mid-year, when they were an independent. Is there any sort of difference when you're prepping for a conference game versus a non-con game, or is it, hey, we're just whoever's in front of us, we're going to go play them?
I mean, it's always just whoever's in front of us. I mean, you kind of know in the back of your mind it does mean a little bit more for the conference games just because of what your goal is when you start the season. But at the end of the day, it's just whoever's next on the schedule, line them up and knock them down.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, 26 straight conference opener wins for Boise State. The last time Boise State was 0-1, they were in the Big West. That's how long it's been. Wow. So every year in the Mountain West, every year in the WAC, they've been 1-0 to start conference play. And, you know, looking forward a little bit, I don't know how much action you guys got to see around the Mountain West this week. UNLV picked up a win against Miami of Ohio in a tight affair, 41-38. We'll start with you here, Chris. Do you still feel like this is the favorite to win the Mountain West? Does this still look like a team to you that can win the league? And, you know, even if you think they can do it, do so convincingly. Spencer Danielson's never lost a Mountain West game as head coach or interim head coach. You know, can they go 8-0? Can they win the Mountain West championship? Is this still the favorite in your eyes?
You better knock on wood real fast.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, you look at this rushing attack on offense, and that can play against anyone. I mean, that is the one consistent on for an offensive team, being able to run the ball, that will play anywhere, any weather, any stadium, whatever. So that, and then I know I'm going to get ripped for this, but I do believe that this secondary has the capabilities and has the talent to make the needed adjustments and to tighten up a little bit. I'm certainly not just blowing this game off and saying that doesn't mean anything, but this team has talent on the back end of this defense, and I trust that it's going to show eventually. DJ?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you just said. This team is more than capable of not just winning the conference, but winning out the rest of their schedule. So I want to count them out of any game. I mean, they do have tough opponents ahead in conference and out of conference. UNLV at home, that's always a bonus. We get them on the blue. Same with Fresno State. We get them on the blue. Those are always good. But I don't see a team on this schedule that Boise State can't go and beat.
Yeah, and I think part of that is as someone mentioned earlier here in the chat, the ICCU chat, Mountain West isn't super strong this year, right? A team like UNLV, they're 4-0. Give up 38 against a Miami, Ohio offense who is not a very good offense. That's a defense-first team. You give up 38 against them. And then you look elsewhere in the conference, you know, like Wyoming. I've been a Wyoming believer. I mean, New Mexico at this point, you know, they beat UCLA, but this isn't the Mountain West of 6-7 years ago where San Diego State was churning out 2,000-yard running backs. You didn't have a Wyoming with a Josh Allen led by Craig Bowl. You don't have, Utah State with a Jordan Love. Although, Bryson Barnes looked pretty good. I don't think he's going to be a first-round pick. I hate to be hate to break the bad news to Bryson. I don't think that this is necessarily the best Mountain West. And I talked about this. There was a lot of drama and fanfare after the USF loss. Boise State, last I checked, was minus 120 to win the Mountain West, right? Like Vegas, they're not going to play favorites. They're just eyeing the market, and they still see this as the team to beat in the Mountain West. I still think they'll likely be favored in every game the rest of the way. Maybe UNLV comes in and is a favorite if they can fix some of their defensive issues. But UNLV fans are having the same conversations that Boise State fans are. Man, this offense looks so good. They're absolutely crushing it. The defense, right? And so I think, it could just be a case who can fix that defense first. Now, some breaking news for you guys. There's been a lot of comments, a lot of questions about Sire Gaines. Little FYI from BJ Rains, doing the hard work, doing the journalism work on the back end. Sire Gaines was banged up this week, and they limited his snap count tonight. He wasn't on the availability report because they knew he would go, but they did want to limit his snap count a little bit tonight. So Sire Gaines just gets the 3 carries. It turns out did have an injury. DJ, were you ever in a spot? I know you played through injuries while you were here at Boise State. Did you ever end up in a spot where you were on a limited snap count through injuries, or was it just, how often does that come up with a guy?
I did one time my senior year, coming off a injury where I missed 4 games playing Wyoming. I had they call it a pitch count. You get a certain number of plays where they try to spread them out where you can still play most of the game. They don't just try to give them to you all at once, but that's the only time. So I'd say that's definitely something that you do see, especially a guy that you're going to need later in the season. You don't want to get him too banged up early on. So it's good that they're taking care of him early so that we can have him for this push later on in the year.
Yeah, and as Linda says, it's good to know, but thank God we're glad we have Dylan Riley because, it's one of those times where how often do they talk about, you need to be available because you never know what the guy behind you is going to do. Obviously, I don't think Sire's just necessarily going to lose his job if he's banged up, but Dylan Riley looked really dang good tonight, and that's now a new revelation. You learn something new about the team in a very positive way because of a guy being banged up. So going forwards, Chris, is this when Sire Gaines gets healthy again, is this the Sire Gaines and Dylan Riley 1-2? Is it just a true 3-headed monster? I mean, 2 weeks ago it was, okay, who's going to be the RB1? And now it looks like, again, you've got 3 of them, and all those things we saw in fall camp are starting to come to light here.
Right. And I mean, you can't even not talk about Malik Sherrod, 80 yards for a touchdown here. I do truly think it's going to be a 3-headed running back room the entire year. And, I've said before, I hope someone comes out as number RB1. I'm kind of wavering on that, especially when you see this stuff where, Dylan Riley comes in and has an amazing game, and you find out that was all Sire Gaines was able to heal and rest because of that. Like, you have to have that depth. I mean, we're not even talking about Breezy Dubar, who someday we'll talk about if he should redshirt or not. That's a conversation for the boards. I hope everyone comes and talks on the boards. But I think this is going to be a consistent 3-headed running back group that you just kind of go with the hot hand.
Yeah, and you've got 3 really good backs right now, right? And I think that's a good thing. It's a positive thing. Got a question here from Chase. Well, not a question. He just says talk about Max. And we talked about it at the halftime show, but he's right. We should talk about it here in the postgame show. For those of you who maybe missed the start of the game, Maddox Madsen, second play of the game, gets his knee taken out. I'll point out there was no flag for roughing the passer when there should have been. A lot of flags thrown, but they missed one there. Maddox Madsen comes out of the game. Max Cutforth comes in, leads a 9-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. Looks really, really good in doing so. Maddox Madsen comes back in next drive, and I think the way this game transpired with Dylan Riley scoring 5 touchdowns, the defense having some concerns. We maybe even forget a little bit about the fact that Max Cutforth came in and looked really good. I know we mentioned it a little bit on the halftime show, but for those just coming in here in the Jackson's postgame show, what did you see out of Max Cutforth? What did you like out of his performance?
I mean, I love the way he came in with poise and confidence. And I also love the way that his teammates picked him up. I love that they were able to come in and they ran the ball with efficiency they used that to be able to set up the play action pass game to get him easy throws. But he also made throws where he fit into tight windows over the middle of the field. So I was super impressed with Max, and it's awesome to see him get that opportunity to go out and make the most of it and lead the Broncos on his hometown team on a touchdown drive against the good old Air Force Falcons.
There you go. Yeah, and all the credit to Max. He's the one that went out and did it and did a great job for that drive. I'll give a shout out to Nate Potter as well.
Yeah.
A quarterback coming in cold, and obviously he did have that series to kind of get ready or whatnot. But the play calling fed really well into getting him comfortable. And then, like you said, that tight throw over the middle, that's just Max knowing that his teammates believe in him and have confidence in him, and that's why he rips that to Caples, and that's a big first down there. So really happy to see Max come in, a local guy out of Skyview, and you love to see that, and hopefully that builds confidence going forward, because this is not going to be the last time Maddox Madsen gets hit.
Yeah, and look, here's a stat for you. I know I'm the analytics guy here, but I'll give you easy box score numbers. Max Cutforth on that one drive had 4 pass attempts. He had 1 previously, but 5 pass attempts in the first half. Maddox Madsen has 2 in all of the second half. You talked about Nate Potter. It's a hard thing to do as an offensive coordinator to see the run game working and not get cute, not mix it up, and just continue to pound the ball. I thought Nate Potter was excellent tonight. Talk about just continuing to pound the ball and run the game, but even early in the game, I think some of the scheme design stuff he did was really good. Mm-hmm. There's the big pass play to Matt Lauder on a tight end screen that I thought had a really, really pretty design, that if you're a linebacker, you've got pulling guards going both ways. You see a hard fake to the running back. I don't know how you're ever leaking out to get to a tight end screen there, because you're never checking on a screen for the tight end. And if you are, it usually doesn't come off of a play action like that where you've got guys booting the other way. I think that's one of the big unknowns of this team is Nate Potter. What do you get out of him, right? Like Dirk Cutter was here last year. We've seen 25 years of Dirk Cutter as a play caller, right? Boise State fans know what to expect from Dirk Cutter. You had Brian Harsin here for a long time. And for the first time in a while, you've got pretty much a complete unknown, an offensive coordinator. I thought Nate Potter was excellent tonight. I thought the play calling, the decisions, as well as some of the scheme design stuff looked really, really good. And look, I think he's still learning, continuing to grow. He talked about last week, Latrell Capel shouldn't have 3 targets. He's better than that. Comes out of the gates, 3 targets on the first 3 pass plays. Latrell Capels ends up being the leading receiver in terms of catches on the game for Boise State. How did you guys feel about Nate Potter's? I mean, Chris, you talked a little bit about it, but if there's anything more you want to build on it, how did you feel about Nate Potter tonight?
Yeah, I'm begging him to call that corner route to Quentin Brown again, because that he should have had that. And I'm a pretty big Quentin Brown fan. If you follow any of my recruiting stuff, he's just kind of my guy to pick to click, and he hasn't quite done it yet, but I still believe he will this season. He's not overthinking it, like you said. He's keeping it simple. When you told us that Madsen only had 2 pass attempts in the second half, I was like, hey, that's great. That's fantastic. Hats off to him, because, don't get too fancy. I feel like he is keeping many of the same schemes as Cutter, as he should, but is slowly kind of bringing in some of his own stuff, and I think we'll see that more and more as the year goes.
And to interject there, that big pass play, one of those 2 pass plays was the big screen to Dylan Riley, right? Last season, a lot of talk about why is there no screen game? Why is there no screen game? Obviously hit the one to Matt Lauder, but you talk about him starting to implement his own scheme. We did not see a lot of screen stuff, and that one worked pretty well, right? Yeah. Get up, get the ball to your fastest back, and get behind Cage Casey. That's a pretty good play call. That's going to work more often than not. DJ, what did you see out of Nate Potter? What did you think of his performance tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was super disciplined. Like you said, a lot of offensive coordinators, especially these days, they don't want to just run the ball and only throw the ball 2 times in the second half. They want to get those big chunk plays through the air, but I think it takes a tremendous amount of discipline for him to do what he did tonight and stick to what was working. And I love the way he uses the tight ends in the pass game too.
Yeah.
I think he sets them up really well to get our quarterbacks easy throws, easy completion, especially on those 3rd and medium windows. And one thing, kind of going back to the running back conversation, I wouldn't be surprised, and I really hope he schemes up to get 2 running backs on the field at the same time. Yeah, we get a combination of Dylan Riley, Sire Gaines, and Malik Sherrod. Maybe not all 3 at the same time, but get 2 of them on the field at the same time. I think that could be something that opens up a lot for our offense.
Yeah, we were talking about that as we were watching the game. Like, man, you've just got so many good backs. Like, at some point, you just find some 2 running back sets. Shoot, man, try a 3 running back set, right? It's Boise State. You do the trick plays. That's what this program is built upon. Figure out a way to get those 3 guys all there. Get Maddox and Max Cutforth out there, right? Let's just go 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs. Let's, like I said, it's Boise State. A lot of great comments. Keep them coming here in the ICCU chat at the Jackson's postgame show. For those of you who missed it, Blue and Orange Store player of the game goes to Dylan Riley. Not really shocking anybody there. 5 touchdowns, 171 rushing yards, 84 receiving yards. If you haven't already, we're going to get to some voicemails here in a little bit. If you want to leave a voicemail for us, go to speakpipe.com/BNN. That is brought to you by Signature Roofing. We love Signature Roofing. Great people over there. A lot of talk in the comments here about the officiating. A lot of penalties for Boise State, and I think a lot of it is self-inflicted to a certain extent. To put it kindly, I'll just say that there were some questionable calls. I don't want to go into the detail of nitpicking each call, but DJ, having played in a lot of football games, 6 years at Boise State, obviously high school before that, you've got a lot of football under your belt. I'm sure you've played in a game or 2 where there's been some suspect officiating with a lot of flags. How does that affect the flow of the game? How does that affect the mindset of the team, specifically on defense going into the game? Is all the flags that we saw, especially in the first half, does that affect how the game flows for you as an individual?
Flow of the game, definitely. Just because you're always starting and stopping, it feels like it's kind of hard to get into a flow in the first place. But at the end of the day, the guys in the stripes, they're going to want to be on TV just as much as everybody else. So, it's just something you kind of got to learn to live with. There's going to be bad calls that go your way and bad calls that don't go your way. I feel like for the most part, it usually evens out in the end. But yeah, those guys, they love to get the laundry on the field, and they love seeing their faces on camera on the replays, I'm sure. So
you say normally, evens out in the end, except when it's Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Blowing a whistle on a scoop and score.
Yeah, that one was brutal.
That one hurt. I for the most part, it obviously didn't affect the result of the game, but it's one of those things that we talk about. We say, man, there's 12 penalties. That's something they got to clean up. 11 in the first half, but even the one that they called against against Mason in the second half. But even the what they calling it, unsportsmanlike conduct or unnecessary roughness on Roger Carry-On, where I don't know, Chris. I don't know if you saw something. It just felt like he was dominating a dude and threw him to the dirt.
Yeah, it looked like he was just going to control that guy, and apparently the referee didn't like that. The old adage is there's holding on every play. Somebody just has to call it. They were sure calling it tonight. But, DJ, when you are in a game as a defensive player, I had to ask because I've always kind of wondered, and you have a referee that is going to is real quick to the flag on holding. Do you keep that in mind when you're getting blocked? Maybe you kind of lean out a little bit and get the arms extended, or is that even a real thing?
No, not really. There's so many other things going on. It's so hard to have that run through your head at the same time. But I kind of always go back to something my dad would always talk to me about growing up. He'd always say, if you get held, it's your own fault. Shed the block, get off the guy. Don't give him the opportunity to grab you, strike and snatch, get him off you. If you get held, it's your own fault. I always kind of try to live by that. So, but it still happens. Guys have big reaches. They bear hug you at times, but it's just part of the game. Like you said, it's on every play.
Yeah.
It's not always called. And it is what it is. Like I said, those guys, they love to get the laundry on the field. So
yeah, well, Boise State takes down Air Force 49-37. We're going to hear a quick word from our sponsors. Be sure to continue to get your comments in. Like I mentioned a moment ago, head to speakpipe.com/BNN. Leave us a voicemail. We'll get to that here in a little bit after the break. And stick around soon. We've got BJ Rains coming on. He's going to have interviews from Spencer Danielson, available players, get to hear their thoughts on the game, what they were seeing there. So all of that and so much more right here after the break.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place? The taco place? Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with a room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cars are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
All right, and welcome back on into the Jackson's post-game show. I am Nathan Carroll here with DJ Schramm and Chris Van Sickle, talking Boise State victory over Air Force 49-37. Feels a lot better to be doing the post-game show after a win than a big-time loss. I had a thought last night, man, if Boise State loses again, is there going to be a curse of the BNN post-game show at Uncle Bob's? But
I told my wife that. I'm like, if they lose again tonight, I can't do this again. I can't let the BJ do this again to it.
Bronco Nation's going to come after us and blame us for it. But alas, crisis averted. Boise State takes down Air Force 49-37. About 15 minutes away from interviews with Spencer Danielson, from players, from BJ Rains coming on. So obviously, if you're looking forward to that, stick around. While you're here, leave some comments in the ICCU YouTube chat. Got a lot of good stuff in there already, and we'll continue to interact with you guys. We're going to get to some voicemails. You can leave us a voicemail over at speakpipe.com/BNN. That's brought to you by Signature Roofing. If you need a roof done, hit up Signature Roofing, commercial, residential, whatever it is, Signature Roofing. They can help you out. Joel and the guys, they're fantastic. Joel Cano, by the way, I don't even know if you guys know Joel. One of the best chefs you'll ever meet. He's in roofing, but man, that guy could open up a restaurant tomorrow and be one of the best places in town. So we've got a couple that were left for us here during the game that we'll get to here, and then continue to leave those, and we'll get to those at another BNN Live. So we'll start here with Chris W., who left us a voicemail. Chris, what do you have to say?
Well, at least we won. But I just you can't feel good about this team. Just can't. Undisciplined. So many flags. The secondary is disgusting. I don't understand. It's coaching malpractice at this point. It's bullshit. It's the same issues. Same guys back there. Same coaches. Same scheme. Same problems. You're in cover zero. And as a corner, in cover zero, your eyes on your receiver, nothing else, and you still can't be within 20 yards on a deep post. What are we doing? Franklin Johnson needs time. We need to see Franklin Johnson. Irby needs to go. Done with it.
All right, Chris there. Not feeling so great about the team. Let's just start with where he said at the top. Can you feel good about this team? Is this a team that you feel good about after beating Air Force 49-37?
I mean, you beat any academy team in their house. Yeah, I feel pretty good about them. There's certainly things to fix. There's no doubt every fan base in this country tonight is doing this exact same thing about things to fix.
Well, except Idaho State.
90-0. Let's talk
90-0
about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Idaho State fans not doing that.
I got to see that box score later tonight. No, every team has something to fix. Yes, Bronco Nation, you don't need me to tell you this, but it's okay to feel good about this win. It's a win. Toss back over to you.
Yeah, I concur. Look, a win's a win. And look, you won by double digits. You really controlled the game offensively. You know, there's a lot of things that you can feel good about. I think the concerns about the secondary are totally fine, which apologies for some of the harsh language there. Try to be a family-friendly show. We can't always control what they're saying on the voicemails. But I don't know. We've talked a little bit about the secondary. He mentioned specifically cover zero and some issues there in cover zero. You talked a lot about, DJ, you've been in these rooms that a lot of times you're just going base cover 4. Are you ever running cover zero against Air Force? How often were they doing it? I mean, I would have to go back and look at the film. I'm not going to say he was wrong saying it was cover zero because I didn't catch it all the time. But what did you notice out of that?
Yeah, I mean, especially on some of those 3rd and longs, there's definitely a chance that they could have been in cover zero. But just the overall, just to touch on the overall theme of the voicemail, I think that Bronco Nation should still be very excited about this football team. Air Force, there needs to be an asterisk put next to the Air Force game. The final score should not tell the story. The win should be what matters most. And I think this team is coached very well. I think they play very hard. And I would love to see Franklin Johnson play too. And I think he will get time as the season goes on. He will get an opportunity. I'm excited to see what he does with it. But I think the coaches will do a great job getting fixed what needs to be fixed. And I think we will see a massive improvement this time next Saturday.
Yeah, and I'll say this. I've been a bigger Jeremiah Irby fan than most. I pointed out against the USF game, the big post he gives up, not totally his fault. It's cover 1. He's supposed to have a post safety there. The post safety's not there, right? A lot of times you see a breakdown happen and it's easy to just point at who's the closest guy. But, Jeremiah Irby struggled tonight. I think some of your analysis there, Chris, is fair. Yeah. He did not have a great game tonight, and we'll see what they do against App. It'll be one of the storylines going into that game is, are we going to see a whole bunch of McCoy, Irby, Zion, Benefield, or are we going to see a lot more rotations? Are they going to give some of these young guys a chance to sort of prove themselves, get into the game? And look, sometimes, and I know you've been through this, DJ, that guys can look one way in practice, and that's what you learn, and you make your decisions based off that because that's what you know. But as the season goes on, some guys are gamers. They show up on game day, and they ball out. And other guys aren't always gamers, right? They're focused in practice, and then they get to game day, and things just don't look as good. They don't look as crisp, It's the way it goes sometimes. So it's certainly fair, I think, to criticize and start to look about, hey, can we get Franklin Johnson? Is there someone else who might be able to rotate in there and get some more reps? Any other thoughts? I know we've talked about the secondary quite a bit tonight, but any other thoughts on the secondary for either of you two?
I will point out one more player, and this isn't anything earth-shattering or anything, but I felt like Zion Washington played well in the rushing game, similar to Ty Benefield tonight. Had the really nice 4th down stop there to start the game, or at least in the first half. I can't say it was to start the game. But Zion Washington, a guy who in the past seasons I felt maybe deserved a little bit more time, somebody who I think could be really good when he gets consistent snaps. I felt like Zion played pretty well as well tonight.
Yeah, well, thanks, Chris, for leaving. Well, thank you, Chris, for your commentary. And thank you, Chris W., for leaving a voicemail. We've got another one here from Jesse. Hopefully we can fix some of the echo issues. I think if we mute ourselves, it might work. So, Jesse, let's take a listen and see what you have to say.
All right, BJ. I have some serious qualms about our DBs and safeties, and I am for sure thinking it's on DeMario Warren. You just watch the guys. They're playing out position every single passing play. Only guy that I see lock down anybody is really McCoy. Everybody else seems they're running with their heads cut off like chickens. That's my opinion on the matter with our DBs and safeties. Now, Dylan Riley, I think, should be RB1. I think it should be Dylan Riley and Sire Gaines, and then Sherrod should come in. I like the pitching offense with Sherrod. I like getting him some speed going so he can do his cuts and do his shiftiness. I think he's a really good asset for quick screen passes, a lot of moving pieces. I would like a Dylan Riley / Sherrod or a Sire Gaines / Sherrod out there at the same time, because it'll definitely confuse some offenses, some defenses. I think that, but I think our main gripe here is DeMario Warren. I think he's been given way too many chances. I don't know. I understand it's always every single time me saying this, but I just think that it's time, BJ. I think that we should definitely.
All right, the voicemail cuts off right there. So, but I think we get the gist of it there. Some DeMario Warren. Some talk about DeMario Warren and whether or not he should be on the hot seat. Obviously, fans were riled up all offseason after the year we had last year. I'll just kick it to you guys there. DeMario Warren, is it fair to have the criticisms? And, how concerned are you? How much of this do you think is coaching versus talent?
I think the criticisms are absolutely valid, and I understand it. Now, I will say we aren't in that room. We aren't there for the play call. We aren't there for the game planning. But I will say I do think that those criticisms are absolutely valid, and that is something that might have to end up being addressed. DJ?
And I know that you played for him, so you're not going to call for his head. So I guess I'll spin it to you this way, because I'm not going to put you in a position to talk about firing a guy that you played under. But you've been in a locker room where a coach gets fired, mid-season even. How much of this stuff is coaching as a player? How much of it is just we've got to do what we're told? And how much of it is, hey, when a new coach does come in, like Spencer Danielson did for you guys, it's able to reignite the room, maybe simplify things. So just talk about more of what that transition can maybe look like, and how much of that you feel like can fall on maybe the way you're being taught certain techniques.
Yeah. First off, I do not think Demo's job should be in jeopardy. But from the way you asked this question, yes, it can just give a different perspective to the room. We also have to realize what we're asking these guys to do, especially in a game versus Air Force, is extremely tough. These guys from the defensive back position are so involved in the run game, and they also have the hardest responsibility in the pass game. So it's really the toughest game from a defensive back standpoint. I understand the criticism because of what we all watched tonight, but I think it does need to be taken with a grain of salt, just because of the nature of this game and what goes into it and how difficult it is to actually play and execute against that offense.
Yeah, and I guess here's what I would say about it is I think it's fair to have the question of, is it coaching or is it players, right? And reality is it's probably a little bit of both, and sometimes a lot of both, right? It's probably a little bit of both, but if you're the coach and you're in a position where a lot of the talk on the offseason is, hey, the DBs have been struggling. They're giving up too many big plays. They're not, contesting 50-50 balls like you'd expect them to. And if your argument as a coach is we need the players to execute more, at some point, then you need to make a change in the players who are out there, right? You've been in rooms where guys were starting one game and they end up getting benched for someone else. You've got to make changes if you believe that it really is a personnel issue, and we haven't seen the personnel change, right? And so this is where, I'm not going to call for a coach's job. He's got a family, he's got his things that he's doing, and I just don't think that that's my place. But I'll say this: if it's a personnel issue, then you got to make some personnel changes. Otherwise, at the end of the day, if you feel like you've got your best guys out there, and if they're not good enough, if the performance isn't good enough, because that's how you're measured in this industry, right? How does the secondary look in the case of DeMario Warren, the cornerbacks in particular? If you can't change out the personnel, you're also the guy in charge of bringing in personnel, right? And so you make some changes in the offseason, try to get some new guys in. If those guys don't hit, then the criticism can move from, well, guys aren't getting developed to, maybe the talent evaluation isn't there. Maybe you aren't able to bring in the right guys. So that's where I think the criticisms are fair, and I think it's something that's going to play out over the year. I don't think he's going to get fired midseason. I don't remember the last time a position coach in particular was fired midseason. You'll see play callers, you'll see head coaches, I don't remember the last time a position coach was fired midseason at Boise State in particular. But I think it's going to be put up or shut up time over these next 9 weeks, right? It was a major issue last year, and we're going to see either new players got to get in there, or the guy who's putting the players out there who aren't performing at a high level is going to need to perform. So continue to get your questions in. Got one here about Jaden Mickey. Did Mickey play? No, he did not. Oh, and look at that. We got BJ Rains here in the chat on the other side with us. So
are people excited? They pissed off? What's the mood of Bronco Nation here?
I'll let you guys figure out as well. I would say in general, we won. We're glad we won, but the fan base is concerned about DeMario Warren and the DB rooms at large. I would say that's
511 yards, right? Given up by the defense tonight. I mean, it's a lot of yards, but I guess in the end you did win the game, and that's what DJ was saying. The stats don't necessarily matter in a game like this. DJ, your first game, I think, officially as an analyst here. Hopefully you had a good time, and maybe you would want to do it again. But what would you have a good time? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, it's been awesome, BJ. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been great hanging out with Nathan and Chris and Kanan over here. So it's been a great night. Had a lot of fun.
Any final thoughts, guys? I got interview Spencer Danielson. We actually got to talk to Dylan Riley tonight as well. First time he's talked with the media. So we're going to hear from Dylan Riley after his 5 touchdowns. Marco Notriani as well. And we do have Spencer Danielson. I'm not sure if you guys touched on it, but Sire Gaines was banged up, they said, and that's why he didn't play as much today. Folks were wondering about that. But no, we got all kinds of great stuff to get to. Any final thoughts before we let you go, guys? I'm going to throw up on the screen here the fans. They were players meeting with the fans. I know, DJ, this is probably the best part of the day was greeting the fans in the post game. But any final thoughts on this one, guys?
I'll just start. I finally got the advanced data pulled up. It was, I guess the site was overloaded. Boise State finishes +7 in success rate, which you love to see. 0.64 EPA per play, 99th percentile. Offense was elite of elite, but Air Force 0.33 EPA per play. That's 93rd percentile. So the defensive issues were real. That's not just in your head. It's something that's got to get cleaned up. And the defensive run stuff rate, 0th percentile for Boise State at 13%. They were not getting TFLs. The defensive line wasn't getting the push that they needed. It's probably something that we should have talked about in more detail. When you're not getting TFLs, it's hard to stop the option. But on the flip side, Air Force 7%, even lower. 0.0th percentile, I guess. The offensive line absolutely dominated.
My final thoughts would be I'm just happy for Dylan Riley and everything that he's been through. Seems like a great young man and with such a bright future, and I wish him nothing but the best.
Yeah, great game by the offense. They look great after that first drive, just throughout the whole game. Defense, I'm excited to see the adjustments that they make, and I think they're gonna make a statement here coming up this next week.
Yeah, that's what we got, BJ. Thanks for having us, and yeah, we'll kick it over. Let you take it over. Thanks for letting us take over for a little bit here, and hopefully the fans appreciated it, and excited to see what Spencer Danielson and some of these players have to say.
Yeah, and I know I told you guys an hour. I should have accounted the 5 minutes for having to catch my breath when I got back up here again. So sorry for the hour 5, but we're good to go. Appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of your night. We're going to hear from some players and coaches and continue this thing. So thanks a lot, guys.
Perfect. Thanks, BJ.
Thanks, BJ.
Thanks.
There they are. Great stuff. We appreciate Nathan and Chris and DJ Schramm for giving their thoughts on this one as Boise State is able to win the game, and they move to 2-1 on the season. Let's hear from some players and coaches. Spencer Danielson, head coach. Spencer Danielson met with the media after the game.
Man, hard-fought win. Thank you, Jesus, for an opportunity to coach this team and give him all the glory, man. It's been a week that we've had to learn a lot from our first 2 games. And obviously, just like anything, we still got a long way to go as a program, but I think we responded to adversity today. We're going to see a lot of clips where our guys are playing extremely hard, imposing our will physically. Those are things we knew we need to grow in, right? Through 2 weeks, now 3 weeks, there's still some things we got to learn, but we learned a lot about our team tonight, that our team can find a way to win. Right, that's what I'm so proud of this team, so proud of our coaches. And I got the utmost respect for Air Force Troy Calhoun and his staff, their players. I mean, playing them here especially, they're a hard team to beat. I'm proud of our team coming here going 1-0 in conference play, and we got to continue to climb that mountain. Obviously, proud of how we were able to finish the game, right? I mean, there's a lot of things there. I think there's over 1,000 yards of offense. With that, everyone's going to just automatically look at the defense. There's some things offensively we got to clean up. We had way too many penalties tonight, and that's something we got to fix, right? We can't give, I don't even know how many it was, 13 or something like that, penalties, right? We got to find a way to be cleaner. But proud of our guys responding, man. I mean, start the game. Our starting quarterback goes down, and nobody knows if he's on for a long time or not. Max Cupforth finds a way to come in and get a touchdown drive. Defense's first drive out there, it's 2 plays, and it is a touchdown. It was like it happened like this. Responded, found a way to get some stops, found a way to score. Didn't score going into half, which is something we got to find a way to do. I found a way to get a takeaway at the end, which is huge. Protected the football offensively, which is a big part of what we do. Colton Boomer kicking touchbacks. I mean, that's a huge part to field position. So there's a lot of things to highlight, but the biggest thing for me is I'm just proud of how our team battled and found a way to win on the road. I mean, at the end of the day, it's never going to be pretty. We're going to learn a lot from this, and we need to. But proud of our team, and we took a lot of steps tonight that we need.
We talked a lot about Dylan Riley last week, but for him to have 5 touchdowns in this game and take advantage of his opportunities, what can you say?
I mean, once again, I can't say enough good things about Dylan Riley, BJ. I mean, who he is to this team, the stuff he's been through, and I mean, continue to watch when Dylan Riley scores. Right? I mean, the team erupts because they know how much he cares about them. Right? He's going to do the nitty gritty, find a way to make plays on special teams, and he had his night tonight, man. And I'm proud of our offensive line establishing a run game, tight ends, receivers. I mean, Cage Casey making that block on the screen. I mean, that was a team effort to score 49 points, man. Can't be more proud of Dylan. Malik had some big-time runs, Sire Gaines. I mean, we had some huge third and XLs that we converted. Latrell Caples had, maybe 2 of those. Some big-time plays.
Was it something he did in practice to get those elevated snaps, or was it kind of feeling as the game went along, he's the hot?
Yeah, I mean, Cy Gaines is a little bit banged up, so we had to limit some of his reps, right? We really like all 3 of our running backs, and Dylan Riley did a great job against Eastern Washington, right? I mean, when he went in, regardless what time of the game it was, he was explosive. He's earned the right to get the reps he's got.
Spencer, 255 total yards from scrimmage, 5 touchdowns. I know you have the utmost confidence in your players, but did you expect Dylan to go out and do that tonight?
Man, I mean, you never know going to a game what it takes. And I tell our staff every single week, guys, I don't care if we win 3-0 or 199. We got to find a way to win. But you don't always know how it's going to go in a game, right? You can have some ideas of who you're playing. But Dylan Riley, we knew he was going to have a huge role. But, I mean, the explosive plays he made, I mean, he's a touchdown waiting to happen because of his speed, his physicality. Can't be more proud of him and our team.
They had that 19 play drive, took off like 10 minutes off the clock, and then you help them do a field goal, and then you come in and score on the first play. I mean, how big was that swing?
Huge. I mean, against this team, it's hard to defend. Now, we made mistakes on defense. We got to clean up. There's some, no question. I'm not running from the 500 yards of offense, whatever it is, but when you can hold a team like Air Force to 3 points, we talk about being 3 or nothing in the red zone. BJ, it's a huge win for us. And then on the flip side, team playing as a team, next play, explosive touchdown. I mean, at that point, the momentum's ours. We executed, and I'm proud of our team doing that.
You mentioned what was going on in that first drive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lower leg injury to date. Right now, we'll still figure out exactly what it is. So proud of him, got it out. I mean, he was hurt. I mean, it wasn't nothing fake. He's a tough kid. We didn't know he was going to come back in. I mean, that's Max Cupforth, man. So proud of him. I mean, and if he was the guy that had to go win this game, he would have. I mean, you have to, right? It's next man up, carry the flag. We'll see how Max is doing. I mean, this is a physical game now. I mean, it is an all-out battle. I mean, I don't even want to know what our injury report's going to be after this, to be honest, because it's a straight battle. I mean, our dudes are out there finding a way to finish this game, and they did.
And just Air Force, with Air Force passing the ball as well. Yeah, we saw him do it a little bit last week, but were you expecting him to pass it as much as they did today?
Yeah, I mean, they do such a good job mixing up their looks, because the second you're going to think, all right, we're going to get ready to play the pass, they'll run a trap play or an offensive run play that you aren't ready to fit. So it's hard. I mean, there's a lot of things that we got to clean up schematically, fundamentally. There's some lack of eye control at times, but it's a hard offense to defend. I mean, I tell our team all the time, triple option's an offense that no one has figured out how to quote unquote stop it. You got to find adjustments and stay in the fight and find ways to make plays and get them behind the sticks. They did a good job completing some passes today that we should have covered, but we didn't. And our guys are in conflict. We got to find a way to do better.
I know you had some issues, like you said, with the secondary, but Ty Benefield today, even outside the interception, just your hits, your tackles, I mean, just help us with Heath today outside of a few covers.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Benefield's one of the best safeties we've ever had here. Period of story. And I tell guys all the time, I talk to NFL scouts about, like, come watch him at practice. I mean, he is the same way during the game. He's the same way at practice. He makes dang near every tackle at practice, right? Marco Notriani, watch him at practice. I'm not one bit shocked that he plays well in the game because he practiced that way. Braxton Feely, absolute war daddy tonight. He's not going to get maybe some of the credit that is given to people in this day and age. He deserves every bit of it. He's out there as a war daddy for our defensive front.
It was a battle in the trenches. I mean, this was a talented defensive line you guys went up against. And what does it say about your offensive line? What was your message to them every time they came off to the sideline?
I mean, we got a veteran offensive line. I mean, I'll hang our hat on them any day of the week against anybody we play, right? There's always things you got to improve on. We had some false start penalties and some holding calls we got to clean up. But there's a mentality that's set with Mason, Roger, Cage, Jason Steele, Daniel Latour, Hall. I mean, those guys, we have the opportunity to impose our will on the defense. Now, we have to do it consistently, and we were able to do that as the game went on, and I really believe we can build on that.
You mentioned Cutforth, but I mean, you're down 7-0, and he's out there, and there's a couple third downs. I mean, what for him to make a couple of those passes and lead you guys down the field and tie the game there? I mean, all of a sudden, if you have to punt and they score and you're down 14-0, I mean, that was a huge drive at that point.
No, I mean, this game, BJ, to your point, I mean, this could have gone so many different ways, either way. And that's why I'm just proud of our team responding. I mean, when your starting quarterback goes out and then the first opportunity your defense has is, I mean, I think it was 3 plays, whatever it was, 85 yards, whatever it was. I mean, it felt like you got to respond to those things. And that's what I'm proud of our team doing. And we didn't do that game one. We didn't do a game one. We let one mistake turn into 2, and then it became we didn't come close to the team. When we left the locker room, our guys were ready to roll, right? Even the fourth quarter, right? Now we made some plays going into the fourth quarter, which helps with the mentality. But man, our guys battled tonight, man. We're gonna build on this. Still a lot to clean up. We got to get some guys healthy. We have a really good App State team coming into Boise, Idaho. But I'm proud of our team, man.
How about your guys' ability to finish offensively? You did it against Eastern, and you guys do it again tonight. Like, I know Air Force scored a couple there at the end, but they couldn't catch it because your offense just continued to produce.
Yeah, if we can continue to score touchdowns the way we were able to this game, I mean, we're going to be hard to beat, right? We got to get some things fixed in all 3 phases. I'm not sitting here like it's all figured out offensively either, but we have the opportunity to be explosive. We have the O-line, the quarterback, the tailbacks, the receivers. We just got to do it consistently. And what has hurt us to date is sins, right? Self-inflicted negatives, penalties, missed assignments, right? We got to make sure we clean those up. And if we do, I mean, we need to be explosive offensively. We want to be on the attack. That's something I continue to tell our team. Like, when we call offensive plays, we're not calling plays to get 2 yards. That might happen, but I want to be on the attack. We're not just calling plays. I want to be on the attack. And we have the guys to score.
How dominated is Cage Casey? I mean, you mentioned like obviously the pancake block on the 75-yarder, but on Dylan's 34-yard touchdown run too, like he's driving a linebacker like, I don't know, almost 20 yards downfield on that one too. I
mean, Cage Casey's elite, right? He's an elite football player, and he's a captain for a reason, right? Our guys don't. That's voted on by their team. It's not, oh well, Cage is a really good player, so I guess we'll vote him. No, they've seen him work. They see who he is as a teammate. They see how he comes every day and how he builds into his team, right? Very similar to some really good leaders we've had in the past. And he's the lead at what he does, right? I mean, he's got the opportunity to not only be a really good football player here, obviously a really good football player in the NFL, but he's not there yet, right? He wants to, his feet are here. He wants to have an impact on this team. The amount of conversations I have where Cage is like, Coach, what can I do to help the team? What can I pray for? What do you need more from me? Because he cares about the team.
I know you have 2 more non-conference games after this, but to start conference play 1-0 and pick up a road win, I mean, just the importance of this game, I guess, moving forward here. Obviously, nice to start conference play with a win.
Yeah, it's huge, BJ. I mean, you always want to put yourself in an opportunity to control your own destiny, right? It doesn't get any easier for us, which it shouldn't, right? When you schedule at Boise State, we're going to schedule really good teams. We got to find a way to win, right? We're 2-1 right now. Got a really good App State coming to town. We got Notre Dame. I mean, it's going to keep going. And we play really good teams in the Mountain West when we start playing more Mountain West teams. So it's huge winning the first game of the Mountain West, and it's not going to get any easier.
Air Force is a team that's always played you tough, but you leave this conference now winning 7 of 8 against them. Yeah. What do you guys have to do tonight to really pull it off?
Team. I mean, this is all 3 phases, guys. I mean, and we knew that going in. That's why, and I had a good talk with JD on Thursday. We're going to find out a lot about our team we play Air Force, because this team is disciplined. This team is all about each other, right? We needed to figure that out about ourselves. And I think we saw that today, right? That's what I'm proud of. This is a team win, right? This is a team win. I want to build on that. There's nothing more important than the team. I talked to the team on Friday morning about the foundation of Boise State football is the brotherhood. You ask any alumni, hey, what makes Boise State special? The brotherhood. It's not the blue field. It's not, the stadium. Those are all awesome parts. I'm not trying to take away from the blue. It's the brotherhood. And nothing's more important than that. And I think we're starting to build that, and I'm proud of our team.
Well, there's Spencer Danielson, and there's the football team, the Boise State Broncos. They are headed to the airport, the police escort. The Broncos leaving Falcon Stadium. Apologize for my shaky camera work here, but the Broncos, 4 buses, they are leaving, and they are headed back to Boise, Idaho, folks, with a win. A 49-37 win for the Broncos, a successful trip over here to the Air Force Academy. It is about a 30 to 35-minute drive back to the airport at Colorado Springs. They will have the police escort, which certainly helps with that when getting on the freeway, sticking together, and then as they get off the freeway, making it over to the Colorado Springs airport. But the Broncos heading off into the night and will board their charter flight and head back to Boise here with a nice win to start conference play. 49-37, the final. And I know all the stats weren't great. They give up 511 yards. They gave up 24 first downs. Had 12 penalties as well, which was not good, but they get 592 yards of offense themselves. You know, last week they had 300 yards passing, 300 yards rushing. Tonight they have 310 yards passing, 282 rushing, so they almost did it again. I bet you'd have to go a long ways, guys, to find 2 games in a row where they had at least 275 passing and rushing yards in the same game, 2 games in a row. I'm guessing that hasn't happened too often for Boise State. So certainly they are a balanced attack. And, had that turnover before halftime. That was a critical play. Not a good play. Too many penalties. Certainly gave up too many big plays. I mean, Air Force passed for 242 yards tonight. I'd have to go back a long ways, and I'll do it right now while we're on the show here. But you're going to have to go back probably a long way to find out the last time Air Force passed the ball for that many yards in a game. I'm going to look it up while we're talking here. But I know folks are calling for DeMario Warren to be fired and making all kinds of claims about the DBs. I think there is something to the fact that you need to have a little bit different feeling in a game like this. It is Air Force. A lot happens. I get it. But certainly you won the game. It wasn't pretty. I'm looking at the yards here. Air Force going back. You guys aren't going to want to see this because I'm going back. I'm already at 2021. 239 yards against Louisville. That was in a bowl game in 2021, so you got to go further back than that. 2019, they had 246. So what did I say? They had 242 tonight. So it's the most passing yards since Air Force actually had 327 against New Mexico on November 23rd, 2019. So most passing yards given up by Air Force in about 6 years for the Boise State secondary there. So wasn't pretty. I get it. But in the end, there was a win. You guys can let me know. Do you want to hear from Dylan Riley and Marco Notriani, or do you want to see the parachute jumpers and the flyover and third verse? Let us know what you would like to see here. I've got it all. I guess we can go as late as you want. It's only 9:54. I do have stories to write, work to do, and then we have to drive all the way up to the Denver airport for our early flight tomorrow. But I did get video of all the cool pregame stuff. We can show some of that maybe as well. It sounds like you guys are wanting to hear from Dylan Riley, so we can go ahead and hear from Dylan Riley as well, and then maybe we can play some of those videos here in a little bit from some of the stuff that we were able to see pregame, which was kind of cool. I know somebody had asked about that. But Dylan Riley, 5 touchdowns. People are saying all of it. They just want me to stay here all night and don't get any sleep. That's fine. We'll just keep this show going. Maybe we can get somebody to subscribe to BNN. Is there anybody in here that's not a subscriber that is willing to go subscribe to BNN tonight? We had a 30% offer going right now. BroncoNationNews.com. You can do the monthly. I think it's $1 for the first month, and then you can see if you like it and stick on. Or you can do the annual rate is 30% off. I think it's like $60 or something, and you get a full year. It's like $5-6 a month, I think, is what the deal is. So maybe you can, if somebody, Chris says I would if I wasn't already. Appreciate you, Chris. But if somebody wants to jump in and buy a paid subscription night to BNN, let us know in the chat that you did it. We would really appreciate that. And if we get more than one, maybe we can raffle off some sort of gift card tonight. $25 to the James will do. If folks, if you sign up tonight, and I can go back and look, we'll give away a gift card to the James Kitchen and Bar. We'll go $50. $50 to the James Kitchen and Bar, and your subscription's only $60. So sign up tonight, and we'll get a we'll get a raffle going, and we will be able to give something away tonight maybe for that. And we'll have some other raffles going for all of our subscribers. Appreciate all you guys. We're at over 1,800 views. We still have 203 of you in the chat right now, so I really do appreciate that. And I was actually thinking about this during the game. Somebody on the pregame show predicted 59-50, and we all kind of laughed at him. And he ended up not being that far off, 49-37. So shout out to that guy. Michael, that's really nice of you to do, but it's also hard to do because after the first year, then the person has to renew. So I don't know how we can make that work. I do really appreciate you offering to do that. But whoever's credit card goes in, then after the first year, it renews on their card. And I'm not sure how we would do that and make it work. So appreciate you for saying you would do that, but I don't know how I could make it work, to be honest, with the renewal of the credit card and somebody having to sign up themselves. So Ben says, love the halftime show. Yeah, that was kind of new. We tried that, and it worked out nice to be able to do that. It's a little harder for the home games, but I think on the road games, we are able to do the halftime show and be able to show you that. So we're going to try to continue to do that moving forward here. So, all right. Appreciate you guys. Let's hear from Dylan Riley. And again, if you're able to subscribe, we would love to have you. And I know they probably thank some of our sponsors, but real quick, I do want to thank our sponsors that make this show possible, make me being down here at the Air Force Academy and the interviews you're watching possible. And that includes rowpaint.com, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and Company. All your painting needs, make sure you hit up rowpaint.com. ICCU, Idaho Central Credit Union. Look at Pearson Carmichael in that Boise State jersey there. 7 Boise State athletes in their Boise State gear there, and that's cool. ICCU, again, now back with Boise State as a sponsor. Make the switch today, ICCU.com. Taco Bell, perfect time. Maybe hitting up Taco Bell myself on the way back to the Denver airport here tonight. SON Management Group, the Nicolason family, TacoBellWorks.com. Visit a Treasure Valley Taco Bell location today. Latrell Caples had a better game. Didn't get him in the end zone tonight, but so you can get those trading cards. You can get the 99-cent coffee anytime, day or night, from our friends at Jackson's. Check them out at Jackson's. And the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. We appreciate them. All your Boise State gear, you can get it online anywhere in the world at theblueandorangestore.com. You can go to the Boise Town Square Mall or that new location right there at the Boise State Hall of Fame. And speaking of Latrell Caples, the fall kickoff sale, Lithia Ford of Boise. Never a better time to buy a new or pre-owned vehicle. You can do that at Lithia Ford of Boise. We appreciate them, our pregame show sponsor here on Bronco Nation News. This is the Jackson's post-game show. And again, appreciate all of you guys that are sticking with us. We're over 1,900 views right now, 221 of you watching on YouTube. Dylan Riley, 5 touchdowns tonight for Dylan Riley, and he did it through the air. He did it on the ground, and back-to-back really impressive games from Dylan Riley. He had 19 carries, 171 yards, and 4 touchdowns on the ground. He also had 2 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown, 75-yard touchdown run in this 75-yard touchdown reception in this game. He had the 77-yard touchdown run in the last game. 255 total yards for Dylan Riley tonight on 21 touches. 255 yards, 5 touchdowns. I mean, that sounds like an Ashton Genty kind of game to me. Let's hear the true freshman, and I will say this, the sophomore. We made a deal with Boise State. Dylan Riley, as you guys all know, his father passed away over the summer. A very tough thing for Dylan that he's obviously still going through, and a very emotional thing. And at some point, obviously, would love to kind of talk to him about that story and how he's honoring his dad and playing for him. We saw one of the games he had a message under his shirt. And obviously, I'm sure he's thinking about his dad, and it's a very emotional for him. But we did agree for his first interview tonight not to ask about his dad. So you're not going to hear any questions about his dad passing away. That was kind of an agreement that the media made. We wanted to talk to Dylan, wanted to give him his due, and for the 5 touchdowns, and give him the publicity that he deserves, but also know that it's a very sensitive topic and subject that he's still dealing with. So we agreed not to ask him about the passing of his father, and that's why you're not going to hear a question about that. So if some of you want to call us cowards or making a deal with the media or with them for whatever, that's fine. But we did agree, hey, we'd love to talk to him. He deserves to talk. We won't ask about his father, and so that's why you're not going to hear it. So great interview with Dylan Riley, and let's hear some of that right now. Dylan Riley, the Boise State sophomore, after his 5 touchdown performance. And this is his first interview. He's never done an interview with the media before since he's been at Boise State. Last year he was a freshman and couldn't talk. He has not talked this year. So very first ever interview. I guess he did one on the field post game, but his first group interview with the local players at Boise State. Here is Dylan Riley, and I'm just going to preface this by saying, great young man, very well, respectful, great talker, and I really enjoyed talking to him. So here's Dylan Riley after his 5 touchdowns tonight.
Thinking you get 5 touchdowns today. How's it feel, man?
It feels good. It's a blessing. You know, before I went out, prayed, made sure I didn't get hurt or anything, made sure I just made my right reads and just knew every play, things like that. And at that point, I just got to execute and just do what I need to do. If I execute, then anything can happen.
So to be, third on the depth chart, whatever, keep working your way up and taking advantage of every carry you get. I mean, what have you done, I guess, these last couple of games to really kind of take advantage of when they give you a chance?
The only thing I needed to do was just keep my head down and keep working. The coaches was going to see me keep work, like they were going to see me working throughout practice and, see what I do. And at that point, they just gave me my chance. And once you give me my chance, I'm going to take it and run with it.
After having the game you had against Eastern Washington 2 weeks ago, kind of game you had been looking to have.
Yeah.
How hard was it to have to wait an extra week for the next game?
It wasn't hard. I just, I learned to be patient. When I was a kid, sometimes I got put in the back, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I just got to keep my head forward, keep working. At the end of the day, my work going to show. So it's just a matter of time.
How much more confident do you get as the game went on tonight?
I was on the streak. I was real hot. After that first one, felt good. Second one, felt real good. That long screen I had, that just did it. That solidified it.
I saw that. I caught that celebration of the bench. You're counting them out on your fingers. I mean, what's going through your mind as you're counting them out, and against especially a conference opponent like Air Force, man?
Yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't even know what I was thinking. I just know once I stepped to the sideline, I'm like, dang, I really got 5 touchdowns right now. That's my first real game of me playing. I got 5 touchdowns. Like, I surprised my own self with what I did a little bit, but it's a blessing to be able to get that. And just at this point, it's just stay consistent and keep doing what I'm doing.
How much joy do you get from playing the game of football and being around these teammates? Because I think every time you score, the entire bench empties to greet you on the sideline.
Yeah, the love is there, every day. It's just a matter of every day greeting everybody, just talking it up to everybody. And, I got a good relationship with everybody on the team. So even people that don't travel, like, I talk to everybody, make sure everybody feeling good. So at that point, it's just everybody treat me good. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Maddox said this week that maybe when you first got here, maybe you weren't maybe you might have been a little late to stuff or something like that.
Yeah.
When did you realize the impact you can have on this team? Because now anybody you ask, it's the exact opposite about you, it feels like.
Yeah, like freshman year just started off. Obviously, who we had in front of me. But special teams is where I was, doing my thing and getting my kickoff return. That kind of sparked everybody, like letting everybody know what I got. Portland State had, I don't know how long that touchdown run was, but did my thing. It just shows glimpses of what I could do. And so at that point, we come to the day, and it's just all the work I put in during spring ball, fall camp, and they knew that I was able to do what I could do, you know what I'm saying? So.
Has it kind of hit you yet? What you did tonight, 200-plus yards, 5 touchdowns, and, you're leading the team in rushing.
255 total.
To lead the team in rushing through 3 games like this, what's this mean to you?
Dang, I didn't even really know that for real, but dang, that's crazy, too. The goal is to get another 100-yard game. Me and J-Mo talked about it, but dang, I didn't even realize that myself. I'm surprised right now.
Just to do what you're doing, man, what's this mean to you?
It means a lot, already freshman year, didn't get to play a lot, and then didn't know what was going to happen, you know what I'm saying? We come to this year, like I said, I put my head down, worked, and that's the only thing I can do. And my work just showing on the field.
And this was your first time playing Air Force. I know coaches all
first
week.
Time.
We're all week, preached about how they were going to give you their best game. They're always a tough opponent. What do you guys have to do to come out on top tonight?
First, it was ball security. We had to make sure we had to have premium ball security at all times, because one wrong move and it's game over. You feel what I'm saying? Like, they take a lot of time from off the clock, so it was a matter of getting the first down, getting 4 or 5 yards, and then just keep getting yards, and then eventually it's going to break. And as you see, it did.
It felt like that 19-play drive that they had when your defense, was You got down there and held them to that field goal, late third quarter. And I think you scored the very next play when you guys got the ball back to go up double digits. How big was that swing there when they held them and then you guys, added to the lead?
Man, shout out to the defense. I already know it's a hard time playing against a team like that because me watching back, I don't even know if I could have did that, to be honest. Like, they play some good offense and they hold a lot of time on the clock, or they take off a lot of time off the clock. And then at that point, it's just a matter of responding. So once they called this play, I already knew in my head I was finna get that out, you know what I'm saying? Get out of there and do what I need to do. And it came to life.
You ever catch glimpses of Cage Casey doing his thing while you're kind of doing your thing?
On that screen, he did something crazy to bro. It was definitely something crazy. I caught the ball, turned around, seen it. I was like, oh yeah, it's time.
How good is he?
How good is he? He's NFL ready. He's NFL ready, for sure.
The fifth one you got, you guys were trying to run the clock out there. You needed a first down or two to put it away. To get that fifth one, how to kind of seal the deal there, what was that feeling like?
It felt good. I was just trying to seal the game, head home. You know what I'm saying? Like, get them out the way. No disrespect to them, but just get it out the way. And then defense, they did what they did, got an interception. So it worked. You know what I'm saying?
How long do you celebrate a game like this, and how long do you think about?
Say that again. My bad.
Yeah, it's got English accents.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
How long do you celebrate a game like this, and how long do you think about it until it's in a history in next game?
Really, I could just think about it right now, in a little bit when we get our time off. But other than that, it's just next game mentality, because I can't just think about this last game and think I'm going to do the same thing. Like, that's not how it works. You got to forget about it, move on, keep being consistent, and at that point, it's just you got to work.
Dylan, you know, I think all offseason everybody wants to know how you're going to replace Ashton Genty. 21 touches for 255 yards from scrimmage and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That sounds like an Ashton Genty stat line right there. How much pride do you guys take in upholding the stable, and what does it mean to kind of throw your name in that conversation like that?
Yeah, like already, I'm not just him, but other running backs before him already didn't set the standard. And then with him coming in, he already set the standard too. So it's like we just got to uphold it. And that's my guy, but we're not trying to be that next Ashton Genty. I'm trying to be the next Dylan. Feel me? So the only thing I could do is just do what I know best and go out and show my talents.
How big was that drive with Max, given the uncertainty of Maddox and if he would come back or not for you guys?
Oh, I wasn't worried at all. I know Mad Dog, he was going to be good. I know I already knew he was going to be good. And then Max, I already knew he was going to be good too. At the end of the day, everybody's learning the same thing. So when he went out there, I have no stress. It was all good.
Okay.
Dylan Riley talking to the media after the game. 5 touchdowns, 255 total yards. The game of his life to this point. What a performance. And they needed every touchdown. They needed every one of them. I thought a couple big plays in the game I know that they talked about, but for me, the Taco Bell turning point would have been when Air Force had that 10-minute drive, and it was 19 plays, I believe, but Boise State held them to a field goal. I thought that was just a massive play to be able to hold them to a field goal. You keep the lead, I think, at 28-24 at that point, late in the third quarter, and then in first play, Dylan Riley goes 75 yards for the touchdown. So I thought that was a massive swing, put him up, what was it, 11 or 12 at that point? I think 11, and kind of changed the game for me to be able to get Boise State up double digits at that point, in the game. So I thought that was, a really cool, thing where we saw them turn the tables there and be able to add to the lead at that point. I got a couple posts of videos I want to play. Let's see which one this is. Is this? All right, this is the parachute one. We're going to hear from Marco Notriani here in a minute. I had some other videos I'm trying to find here. Sorry, folks. I'm doing this on the fly here. This might be it. Let's see here. Yep. So after the game, they play what's called the third verse. And this is a tradition. They do it every Air Force game with the cadets and the players. And the visiting team sometimes will walk over and pay respects to the Air Force Academy and be part of that. And here was 45 seconds or so of that song and Air Force and Boise State after the game. There you go. Third verse being played after the game. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And working on getting some post-game stats. Again, the stat broadcast was not working for this game, the typical way we get all of our stats. I think Boise State just emailed out a game book, so I'm going to try to get you that. But also, here's the parachute jumpers. Here's 2 minutes or so of all the different parachute jumpers coming in. This was pretty cool after the game. While I'm looking for the stats, I'll let you guys watch this.
Dedicating this jump to the 380 quickly. Let's make some noise for that first class. Luke Child.
There you go. Muted myself. The pregame parachute team. That was pretty cool. Always appreciate them. And then 3, and I believe it was A-10s, who are actually the same planes that also are based out of Boise at the Boise airport at Gowan Field. But I think it was A-10s. I'm not sure if it was B-10s. I apologize. It wasn't the loudest, and they weren't jets. They were a different kind of aircraft. Actually came in slower than I thought they would. But here was the pregame flyover as well.
Ladies and gentlemen, day 1 will play. Go Mercer!
I mean, as you can see there, that is like literally at kickoff. Sometimes they do it after the national anthem or whatever, but no, that is as the clock's hitting 0, as the teams are on the field at kickoff. That was, that's pretty cool. The way they do that right there before kickoff. So you had the parachute team, you have third verse, you have all kinds of cool stuff. They had the running of the cadets, which we tried to show on the pregame show as well. So Marco Notriani, he also talked to the media. I'm going to see if I can get this queued up with the right player here. We're going to hear from Marco Notriani, Boise State linebacker, in just a second. And again, I'm working on getting the full stats up, so I apologize for that because the stat broadcast was not working. But I think Ty Benefield, 11 tackles tonight and an interception. I think that's accurate. We'll find the rest of them here in just a minute. But I do want to thank Bauscher Real Estate, #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley, Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, nobody better than Matt Bauscher. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shop Ridleys.com. Appreciate them for their support of Bronco Nation News. download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off of the checkout line. But if you're looking to, save some money at the grocery store, go to a big supporter of BNN, skip the big stores, head to Ridley's Family Markets. Hey, transportation compliance service, transcompservice.com is where you can go. And if you want to get into the trucking industry, I highly recommend it. Booming right now. And you can, all the paperwork and all the things you need. They're a local company helping out folks all over the world. You can sign up at Transportation Compliance Service at transcompservice.com. Hey, Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, thespateam.com. They got locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. You can check them out at thespateam.com. Snake River Pool and Spa Patio and Game, and appreciate them for their support, whether it's a sauna, hot tub, pool table. They got you covered online at thespateam.com. And I heard we had a couple of voicemails in there tonight. If you want to leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. It's brought to you by Signature Roofing, covering our community for more than 2 decades, whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection. They got you covered at mysignatureroofing.com. We had a couple of voicemails. Appreciate Chris, Jesse for getting those in there. And if you do have a voicemail, get that in, and we can try to play that tonight if we have time, or most likely on Monday or Tuesday's shows of next week. But give us your thoughts after Boise State goes on the road and picks up a win, a nice one, 49-37 over the Air Force Academy here in Colorado Springs. And again, maybe it wasn't pretty at times defensively, but they got the big stop when they needed to on the field goal and the long drive. Had the late interception from Ty Benefield. I know the game was kind of already not in the in doubt at that point. They were up 2 scores, but I know 500 yards doesn't look good for the defense. Gave up 242 passing yards, most for Air Force in 6 years. I get it. I understand it. But overall, you won the game. You got a road win in conference play. This was one of your tougher games left on the schedule in the conference, and you went on the road and got it done. It's a big win for Boise State. They're 2-1. They've got a winning streak going. They got App State coming home next week. You got a chance to win 3 games in a row, really get some momentum before you go play Notre Dame. So a nice win overall. I know there's some issues with the secondary and things, but again, you won by double digits. You covered the spread. You're undefeated in conference play. Enjoy this one tonight. Here's Marco Notriani, Boise State linebacker, after the win.
Drive where they had the 18, 19 plays and went 10 minutes, and you guys buckle down and hold them to a field goal there to just keep the lead, and then your offense scores 75-yard touchdown, I think, on the next play of the next drive. I mean, how big was that swing there?
Yeah, I mean, talking about that, I think that was closer towards the end of the half too, right? So getting winning that middle 8 is huge. And yeah, I'm super proud of the guys, sticking it in there, getting 3-0. That's everything that we kind of emphasize once we get in that red zone area. So yeah, it's huge to stop them to 3 points because we know they can't win the game off of 3 points.
How was your body feeling? Spencer was saying you guys were a little banged up after being in the trenches there.
Yeah, no, it's I feel good. My body's definitely banged up. I'll feel it a lot more tomorrow, but. Yeah, I mean, if you're a linebacker and you don't love the triple option, I think you got to rethink positions. So it's fun for me out there when we're playing a team like that. But came out healthy, so really blessed, and came out with a win. So huge for first conference game.
Air Force is a team that's always going to give you a competitive game. What was the key to just finishing in the fourth quarter tonight?
We're just really leaning on each other. Offense had our back a lot tonight, and I feel like we had their back a lot too at times in the game, and so playing off of each other was huge. I think if we can find that rhythm where we're kind of in unison, I really think we can pull away from teams like that earlier in the game, but we let them hang around a little bit more than I wanted to, but came out the win, so I'm fired up.
In some of these high-scoring games, I mean, as a defensive leader, what do you tell your guys on the sidelines to keep them in it? It just seems like sometimes it's just one of those games where it's tough to keep guys out of the end zone.
Yeah, definitely just control what you control. Don't do anything out of the ordinary or try to be a hero. Do your job and plays will come to you, and play hard. That's really all it is on defense. And we always just emphasize get off the field as fast as possible because we know our offense is going to go to work on the field.
Marco, coming out of the first game, I think one of the main storylines was how you guys respond to adversity and being resilient. And you see how this game started, and you see Maddox go down, and you guys fall behind 7-0. Just overall, how do you feel like the team responded? How do you feel like the resiliency was tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fired up about it. Max came in and cut forth. Came in when we needed him to. He ran the operation. We came down and scored.
We had guys step up all over the place on the D-line. Talk about all the DBs that were fitting really fast and physical on the edges and perimeters. We knew we needed them bad in the run game. And yeah, I mean, we really leaned on each other. Talked about that field goal like we talked about earlier with BJ. Being able to just rally behind each other after like a 19-play drive is huge. Get off the field, get our offense back on.
Kind of a mixed bag. I mean, you gave up some yards, you gave up some points, but you got the win. I mean, how do you look overall defensively?
It's always harder to say, not looking at the film. I think emphasizing that we stopped their core fundamental things, and then they really had to get deep into their bag to really make plays, drive the ball on us. And so I think that's a positive. I think we played really hard. I think we played really physical. I think that you could see that out there when it comes to all the schematic side of things, where our eyes were in our fundamentals. Yeah, we'll go over on film. It's definitely not going to be pretty, but definitely happy we pulled out with the win.
How difficult or frustrating is it? You know, they run out 6, 7, 8 running plays, and then you drop a 40-yard pass over your head, and just figuring out when you're going to do it. Just how do you go about counteracting it and reading an offense?
Yeah, it's definitely harder with the triple option. Harder to see that kind of stuff coming, and I mean, it's all designed to mess with your eyes and your keys. Knowing that we need to do a better job getting pressure on the quarterback, as well as communicating with the back end when we're seeing those party keys, those pass keys. So doing that, and then obviously undercutting routes as a linebacker is huge. So the safeties and the DBs can really play fast. So yeah, I mean, everybody has a job to do, and we got it done tonight.
I asked this with a hint of sarcasm. Braxton Feely had 1 tackle tonight. How do you feel like he played?
I mean, if we're gonna look at stats like that,
I mean, like, what does his effort mean to you guys tonight? You're gonna look down and see 1 tackle, but what did he mean to your guys' effort tonight up front?
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact he's not even looking at the stat sheet, and I know for a fact he did his job to the best of his ability, and probably the best in the country that they'll see all year. I have a lot of faith in Braxton. He plugged up a lot of holes today, made my job a hell of a lot easier. And taking on a lot of double teams. All the D tackles did, and that's a really terrible job. And there's not a lot of glory in that. And then, I mean, you see me, Rip, Bo, all the safeties come down and make plays. A lot of that has to do with just stopping the inside and plugging up gaps, and that's all credit to the D linemen.
Seeing 5 touchdowns from Dylan Riley, just what'd you think of his performance? And obviously, just as a teammate, knowing what he's gone through. Spencer said, you know, when he scores, the whole team, you know, obviously gets really excited for him.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the sideline too, how juiced up everybody gets. Love Dylan, works super hard, like unfazed with everything that he went through. Super consistent throughout the off season, and so to see it pay off is just unbelievable. And I'm just blessed to kind of be in that presence. And see him perform the way he is performing right now. And so, yeah, we got a stacked running back room, and it's good to see that we're bringing along a 3rd guy. Obviously, we have Sire. Obviously, we have Malik and Breezy coming back, being healthy. And so being able to rely on all 3 of those guys and Breezy when he's healthy is huge.
And I know conference play, you know, it's 1 game, but just open conference play get a road win under your belt now, be 1-0 in conference play. I mean, I know it's just the startup you guys climb, but how to start out with a road win like this and pull it out, how does it feel?
Yeah, I mean, you guys asked me earlier this week on what went wrong at USF, traveling and playing a road game, and really happy with the team, how we handled things coming out here, and getting that win, bringing the juice on the sideline, really loving each other up and having each other's backs. That's something that we talked about earlier in media this week, and I'm really happy we got it done.
How much do those big hits by Ty really juice you guys up?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's always flying around. I always expect a couple of those a game from him. So yeah, I just love sharing the field with him.
Marco, just real quick, 19-play drive from Air Force. You know, you're on there for 10+ minutes. You have to stop, and then Dylan comes out and has a 1-play touchdown. You guys are right back up there. Are you thinking to yourself, man, give us a little bit more of a break, or are you fine with it?
No, I love it. I mean, that's exactly what we needed from the offense. We needed them to score. We needed to create that gap with Air Force, just in terms of like the score. So I love it. And if they do that, they get points on the board for us, and we need to get back out there and stop another drive, another series. I'm all for it.
Well, there he is, Marco Notriani, speaking with the media after the game. As always, you guys can get post-game interviews with Spencer Danielson and players after the game. We post those videos to our YouTube channel. That's just youtube.com/Bronco Nation News. If you're watching on Facebook or you're watching on X, we ask you guys to make that switch over to the YouTube channel. As you can see, it's much easier to chat with each other in the YouTube chat. And you can see videos and you can turn on those notifications, and then you know when we go live right after the game or during the morning shows or whenever else we go live. Just hit that notification button, turn on your notifications. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. We just surpassed 7,000 YouTube subscribers. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. You may think you subscribe because it's showing up, at the top of your algorithm or whatever, but just check. Make sure you subscribe to Bronco Nation News. It's down there in the bottom of the screen somewhere. And then while you're at it, you can like this video. That'd be a big help if you like this video while you're here. That only takes a couple seconds. And then you can turn on those notifications as well. We have surpassed the 2-hour mark on the Jackson's Postgame Show. 2 hours, and we're now at over 2,100 viewers on the show as well. So only 18, I can't tell if that's Facebook likes or not, but 18. So go down there at the bottom of the screen. Give us a quick like on Facebook. We'd appreciate that. And as Grant Teton says, overall, decent win. Could have been better, but could have been way worse. I mean, yeah, you're only up 7 at halftime. And we talked on the halftime show about, which hope you guys enjoyed the halftime show, new thing we're doing. And I really thought that was cool, and I like doing that, so we're going to try to keep that going on the road especially. But I said, hey, this is a big drive to start the third quarter. You got to try to hold them and, have that lead. And coming right out of halftime, Air Force comes right down the field and scores, and all of a sudden you got a tie game, and you're going, uh-oh. And it was just it was a battle tonight. So hats off to Boise State, did what they needed to do. Good to hear that you liked the halftime show. So they had to buckle down there. Again, you're only up by one score most of that second half. When you did get it to 2, they came down and scored. And then that last touchdown from Dylan Riley certainly sealed the deal. Big touchdown run there from Dylan Riley. And that put them up double digits again. And what can you say about Dylan Riley? 255 yards. He also had 5 touchdowns in this one tonight for Boise State. They win the game, and they're able to get back on that plane and head home 1-0. Kurt, I addressed this on the pregame show. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. I didn't think it made a lot of sense. I didn't think it was a great look, obviously. But I also think if you honestly believe that they're transferring to Utah or bigger Utah fans and Boise State fans, then you're crazy and you're trying to make something bigger than it was. It's not a good look. They shouldn't have done it. I'm not condoning it. There's more to the story. They were down there visiting some friends of one of the players. They have a sick family member of one of the players that they were visiting down there in the hospital. There's a lot more to it. And to get on, to meet Portnoy and get in the area there, you probably had to have Utah gear on. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm not defending it. You can't defend it. It wasn't smart. But I do think there's more to the story, and I also think they're college kids that just made a mistake, and it is what it is, and you move on. If you're questioning their loyalty or questioning if they bleed blue, then I think you're trying to make it a much bigger deal than it really was. With that said, Jeremiah Dickey did have a tweet about it today. He said, we're aware of today's situation. We represent something bigger than ourselves. We don't wear other logos. Great opportunity to lead and educate on the importance of representing Bronco sports and why it matters. Love our guys and know they bleed blue. Learning opportunity. So I understand why folks are upset about it. This guy says it wasn't the Utah gear. It was the picture with Portnoy. I posted the photo. Some were mad that I blew it up and made it a bigger deal, and I was the one that posted the photo. It was originally on Pearson Carmichael's Instagram. It was a public Instagram post. I posted it. I was more interested in the Portnoy part of it. I didn't think the Utah gear, at least initially, was that big a deal. I kind of had an eyebrow. I thought it was a little weird. I was like, wow, I probably wouldn't have done that. But I just posted about the picture with Portnoy. I thought it was pretty cool. They got to meet Portnoy, to be honest. But I whether you like him or hate him, he's a big-time celebrity. And the fact that they got to meet him, I thought was pretty cool. The picture blew up. I wasn't trying to make it a bigger deal than it was. I apologize for all of that. There were some people coming at me saying that I blew up an unnecessary and made it unnecessary, thing today and bigger than it needed to be. It was, it was a public Instagram post that a player made. So if the players want to be upset, if fans want to be upset, whatever, maybe not post it to a public Instagram where it was posted for 3 or 4 hours before I even saw it. So it is what it is. I don't think it's a big deal. Like I said, there's way more to the story. They were down there visiting some friends. They were trying to support some friends. There was a sick family member they were visiting in the hospital while they were down there as well. And yeah, it was, there's more to the story, but in the end, probably not a good look, but they're college kids. They make mistakes. I'm sure that if they thought about it for a minute before they posted it, they would probably realize it wasn't a great idea. But I think it's just college kids. They made an honest mistake, and I really wouldn't, as someone said, lose sleep over it or really be that mad about it. And if you're thinking they are Utah fans or whatever, and you're going to criticize these kids and send mean messages to them, then you're crazy, and you got bigger things you should be worrying about. So it is what it is. But Jeremiah Dickey addressed it. It's been addressed, and it's over with. Moving on here. So Boise State does win the game, and I do have the final stats here. Defensively, Ty Benefield, 11 tackles, did have that interception there. Marco Notriani, 10 tackles. Zion Washington, 10 tackles. Jeremiah Irby had 8 tackles tonight. 7 for Bowen Phelps. Marion McCoy and Jake Ripp each had 6. And then Jaden Virgin Morgan, 4. Max Steege, 4. And then there were some others with a handful of tackles there. But overall, the defense did some nice things tonight. Offensively, Madsen goes 13 of 23, 276 yards and 2 touchdowns. Max Cutforth had an ugly, awful-looking ball in that third down play before they had to punt. But when he came back in on the next drive, had a couple really nice throws, some third down passes. I thought he was really impressive in the short time that we saw him, and that was a huge touchdown drive led by your backup quarterback to tie the game after you had fallen behind early in the game. I don't think you can overstate how big that was. But he was 3 of 4, and then you had Caples with 5 for 87, and then some other guys with 2 catches and 1 overall. But the big story was the running game tonight. Boise State rushes for 310, rushing was 286 yards. It looks like 282 was the net. 80 rushing yards for Malik Sherrod, 80 yards on 7 carries. He had a touchdown, and then 171 yards on 19 carries, 4 touchdowns for Dylan Riley. Syra Gaines, who was banged up, did get 3 carries for 34 yards tonight, so he was impressive even in limited duty. So they've knocked on the door a couple times here. I think they're trying to clean this booth up and go home tonight, and they're waiting on me to get done with this show. So I'm going to get out of here. We are at 2 hours and 6 minutes on the Jackson's Postgame Show. I've still got a couple stories to write and have to drive, hour and a half back to the Denver airport or whatever it is tonight before flying back. Any of you that came down to the game, maybe I'll see you on the 8:15 a.m. Southwest flight tomorrow morning. Back at 10:15 in time to watch some football. Seattle Seahawks, don't screw me tomorrow. Not a big Seahawks fan, not going to lie, mostly from when the Rams were in St. Louis and just never been a huge Seahawks fan. I know a lot of you are Seahawks fans, but tomorrow I'm the biggest Seahawks fan there is. I've got them in my Survivor contest. Both entries I have left at Circa, the $1,000 entry Survivor. I'm going Seattle Seahawks tomorrow with both of my entries. So come on, Seahawks. Don't let me down. And I will give the stable wants to see a BJ fist pump. I will give you the fist pump. 41-10 win for my Kansas Jayhawks tonight. So how about that? But nice win all around and great viewership on the postgame show. So appreciate you guys. Congratulations on the big Boise State win. 2+ hours on the postgame show. We were almost 2 hours on the pregame show. We had the halftime show. So we're almost 5 hours of live streaming coverage here from Bronco Nation News. So tell your friends. We'll see you at the James for pregame for the App State game. We'll be there pregame and postgame. Go subscribe if you can. Mike Prater's got some thoughts in the message boards. Jump on over and check those out right now. BroncoNationNews.com in the free board. Mike Prater threw some thoughts in the message boards. Nathan Carroll is going to have instant thoughts. I'll have a couple stories here posted later tonight as well. So BroncoNationNews.com. We'll have 4 or 5 stories when you wake up tomorrow. They'll be posted throughout the night. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to everybody over at Uncle Bob's, to Chris, to Nathan, to DJ Schramm, Kanan Moore, our intern that did it. Kanan Moore, that's the kicker. Kanan Rogers, our intern, did a tremendous job. We appreciate him for setting everything up. But again, my final thoughts, wasn't maybe pretty the whole game defensively, but you got it done. You're 1-0. You already got one of your toughest road games in conference play out of the way. Enjoy this one, Boise State fans, and it's only 10:30. It's not 2 in the morning right now. So appreciate all of you guys. Larry's watching in Albuquerque. Appreciate you. Chris V is watching. Appreciate Chris, your great work tonight. And it was an awesome night had by all, and I really enjoyed all the viewership and the comments and all the pregame, mid-game, post-game coverage as well. So go subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. We got the 30% off special going right now. You can read all of our coverage then when you wake up. If you missed any of the interviews or the beginning of the show, 2 hours and 9 minutes, you can go back and watch that on YouTube. I've already posted Spencer and Dylan Riley and Marco Notriani to the YouTube channel as well. So appreciate you guys. Fun day, fun night, fun trip here to the Air Force Academy, but I'm ready to get home, see my family tomorrow, watch some football, and enjoy as much of the Sunday as we can. We got an early flight and going to be a short turnaround with the work we still have to do tonight. So appreciate you guys. Signing off from the Air Force Academy, signing off from Falcon Stadium, 49-37. Boise State gets the win over Air Force. The Broncos, they've won 2 in a row, building a little momentum. They'll have App State coming to town next week. And we'll be covering that all week at BroncoNationNews.com. So have a great rest of your weekend. Monday morning, we'll have our man Brad Bedell join us at 9 a.m. So come on back, 9 a.m. on Monday. We'll really dive into this game some more and start to turn our attention towards App State in the next home game next Saturday. So thanks again, guys. Thanks to the rest of my team over there at Uncle Bob's, Nathan, Chris, DJ, Cannon, everybody else involved. Burke over at Uncle Bob's had a great time. Most importantly, thanks to all of you. More than 2,200 views on this post-game show. We were well over 200 on YouTube alone throughout this show. So again, really appreciate all you guys. Thanks for what you've done to support Bronco Nation News and help continue to build this thing. It's can't do it myself. You fans have made this what it is. You're helping us build BNN. You're telling your friends. You're clicking like on our videos. You're subscribing on BroncoNationNews.com. So we couldn't do this coverage without you guys. So thank you to all of you guys. Congratulations on the win. Have an extra cold one for me. Enjoy it. Celebrate it. And then subscribe to BroncoNationNews.com and read all of our great coverage. So thanks, guys. We'll talk to you at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Boise State 9 a.m. on Monday. Maybe I'll talk to you at 9 a.m. if you're on my flight. But enjoy it, and we'll talk to you Monday at 9 a.m. Go subscribe. Bronco Nation News, again, signing off. Nice win for Boise State. They're 2-1. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody, at BroncoNationNews.com.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cards are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's. Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.